Alrighty. Hello. Hello. What's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome in. God, none of the lights are on. Oh. Light up. Activate. I haven't gotten those kinds of lights yet. Okay. Still a manual labor kind of light. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. How you doing? Good to see ya. So, funny thing. Today, I thought would be a lot different than today has gone. I was planning on being live like 5 hours ago ish. Yeah, about 4 or 5 hours ago. Yeah, we're gonna have to start being live on Thursdays because, to be quite honest, Star Citizen Live has now shifted from Friday to Thursday. I thought maybe it would go back when they got back to doing things normally, but no luck. So today, me and you, that's right, you lovely viewer, we're going to be jumping into the patch watch to see what the last details going into 4.7 are, because they love to put them in here. Looks like a pretty thick one. We know about some of this stuff, but it should be some interesting new info about the patch going live next week. Ish, possibly. We'll see. And then we're going to watch the Star Citizen Live that happened today, which is all about FPS gameplay. That's important, because when people think of FPS gameplay, they're thinking combat, but these guys are doing more than just combat. They're doing tools. They're doing other things. But we're going to go through all that together. Nice little chat, little watch, some commentary, good times, chill vibes. I hope you enjoy. It's Thursday, so we're not stressed out Friday or anything like that. We'll be playing the game tomorrow. There's a lot to go over these days, so we can't just be kicking back. It's a PTU kind of week, so I had to go live on Thursday. Thanks for joining me if you did. Welcome in. Who is here? Who's here? Holla at me. I see freaking Maverick was fresh and bright and early. Bright, shining eyes. Good to see you, dude. Nesville. Space Marine, Arctic Wolf, welcome in, guys. Makuteds. I'm guessing we're gonna have quite a few different people in the stream today, considering the weird timing that we're at. Maybe some folks. My man Fola. You guys see that? You see all the red insanity? My dude Folo likes to put the YouTube team on his back every once in a while. And also get on Toes Gang. I mean, he's been Toes Gang top royalty since it started, which is last year. A rich history. Thank you, Fola, for supporting the stream, my dude. Thank you for blessing this wonderful podcast. That sounds a little bit biased. That's the worst. Stop! I don't want a chalkboard anymore, for fuck's sake. Ugh. That was terrible. Yeah, that got me to the bones. Mr. Thorn, 1234000. I appreciate you for those last zeros. Welcome in, man. Thank you. Is that chalk markers? I don't know if it's gonna show up on this. We'll see. Diva. Good to see you, Rockstar. Rough Gaming Con. Welcome in. Nesville. Thawky. Tech Warrior. 07s, dude. URSR. I thought that was USSR for a second. Awkward. It's Ren. Hello. Thank you. My helmet. Protect me from the internet bad guys. Twitch without a sub is insufferable. Insufferable. You hear YouTube is doing even more shenanigans with their ads? Now, I know we make money from YouTube and publish our stuff to YouTube. But as an avid YouTube user who has an account that has premium, an account that doesn't have premium, I abhor YouTube on my non-premium account. You're the worst. You're terrible. I hate you. But on my premium account, we're besties, dude. It's the best subscription price I pay. It's better than Netflix for sure. God knows it's better than Paramount Plus. Not saying you should get it, just saying I hate YouTube with ads. It's awful. You could also do an ad blocker, obviously, but it's hard to make that bounce back and forth between like the phone and the TV and everything I'm using and all that stuff. That's just easier. Plus, it's a tax write-off, right? We use the premium account literally right here on the streams, so it is a business asset. Time to move to dry erase? I think so, Tech Warrior. I think possibly, dude. I don't know. Mrs. Tomato has these dry. Use a damp cloth to wipe off non-porous surfaces. Your mom. It's a chalk marker, it says. So we'll see if this saves the day. Use all they're making it so that you can't tab out or mute the tab on Twitch. What? Okay. Shempasta, hey dude. Good to see you. Digits. Welcome in, Digits. You get YouTube Premium through work, and thank God for that. That's pretty cool. That's a nice perk. Ryan. What's up, dude? Welcome in. An immortal fish. Immortal fish. A smartboard? Get a smartboard, dude? Are you taking me? That's... What? Straight. How long? Man, that's 5th grade? This is like maybe the last time I saw a smartboard. Nah, 7th, 8th grade? It's a while. I don't even know how long ago that was anymore. How old were you in 8th grade? It's like 15, 14? That's like half my life. Yikes. Your YouTube ad block has blocked 1.5 million ads since you installed it. It says, wow. If I was an advertiser, I'd be like, good for you, dude. So, I got good news. But I've also got bad news. The good news, though, is really good. Okay, and the bad news is not that bad. The bad news... No, that wouldn't make sense. I'm going to go with the good news first. Because the bad news wouldn't make sense without the good news. So the good news, we got everything for the PC. I have put it together. And it is running the stream right now. That is why it took so long for me to go live today. It took me... How long? It would be 15 minutes to get to that point, but that's what I wanted to say. We are on the new PC. It has been built out, which is why when the stream was starting up and it was like dropping out a little bit, I was about to pop my head, but it seems to be doing okay so far. We'll keep monitoring it. I'm going to see what goes on with it. The only thing I've got for going on right now is it has this kind of, I think it's the CPU cooler. It's always the CPU cooler, right? It's got this like whirring sound. It's like, it's not that deep. It's a little bit louder than that. I've got my HW info here pulled up, just watching temperatures and stuff, and I'm doing okay. Temperatures are fine. Tyrus. Clock is fine. Tyrus. My man. But I feel like that's almost like Mrs. Tomato, did Tyrus pay you to put that in here so we could just always be reminded of him? Yeah, kind of pulsing noise. It's not too loud. It's barely noticeable. But when I'm sitting here and I'm like typing and I realize I'm starting to rock back and forth, I'm like, what is this rhythm? What's up, Johnson? How you doing? What's this craziness that the Phoenix Emerald is no longer limited? I don't know. Dude, what's wrong with my Stream Deck? I need to reset this thing completely. It's got keys that are sending me to the wrong page. I can't get back to my homepage. There we go. I gotta reset all of my tech stuff. I'm not a sad dude. I'm a happy tomato. What you talking about? I got a new computer today. Thank you guys. It's seriously, worrying aside, it is it's a blessing that like it doesn't sound like a leaf blower. Hold on, can I put the mic over there so you guys can hear it? Remember what it sounded like last time? Check this out. We're gonna go all the way around the table. Down here. You can barely hear it. Except for, okay, that's, it actually sounds kind of loud when I put it right here. But trust me, it's not, it's definitely quieter. Definitely quieter than the last one. Thank you guys. Oh, I like this song. This is a new one. It's an AIO cooler. Did you mount the radiator the right direction? It's a common mistake. Yeah. You mean the right direction, like right in the right place? It's top mounted. Did you build it yourself? I mean, yeah, like I put the parts together. I didn't solder the motherboard and stuff. You upgraded to AM5 last week and you know the feeling. Oh, I'm AM4 still, dude. 5950X. AM5 on this one, though. On the gaming PC. The sweet, sweet joys of the 7800 are what drive my actual game. Who makes the cooler? Corsair. I mean, probably Acetec, let's be real. The weird buzzing or humming sound in your new PC is most likely fan resonance. Exactly. When multiple fans spin at similar speeds, they create a harmonic hum. Yes, indeed. What I'm trying to figure out is how to remove that. I do not know. I don't know like what would be causing it. It's not like that I have them running at a specific speed. Shouldn't they be running at the same speed so they're not off and doing that? Because I hate that. I love it when it's in a lab for your intro to physics class. I hate it when it's in my head. Does it use IQ? No, not from what I've seen. AIO shouldn't be top mounted? Why not? Don't you just have to have the radiator above the pump and you're good? Well, the connection of the tubes to the radiator above the pump. You can stop each fan from the BIOS and find the one causing the issues. Oh, the BIOS can stop the fan completely? Hey, don't blame my ADHD. I just need a perfect computer build, alright? It's been long enough. But also ADHD. Hello, Luna Maria. Welcome in. Hello. You haven't missed anything. We've just been getting caught up. We got that new computer built. It's running the stream. Hopefully, the stream sticks with us. Power on through it, stream boy. Stream buddy. But we've actually got some fun Star Citizen stuff to talk about today, so we'll get to that in like 2 minutes, I promise. Fan speed controller, if they're on separate headers, you can control them in BIOS. They are not on separate headers, unfortunately. They're daisy chained. Hola, Just Game. How you doing? Good to see you, dude. A career by blaming things on ADHD. Honestly, I think that's like an internet profession at this point. Your PC's RAM is starting to have issues after 3 years. Oh my god, dude. That sounds like a conspiracy. Like they heard something. Somebody got to them. I would check on your cooler. Up top mounting them can stress out the pump sometimes. Really? I thought I thought it was pretty standard to put a radiator on top if you're doing front intake. What's the weirdest thing you have blamed on ADHD? Oh, you know, sometimes I drink juice from the opposite side of the cup. Fan harmonics aren't going to be anything to fix. You can, however, make sure the IQ software isn't running the fans in software mode, but off the sensors on the motherboard. Yeah, I don't think they have IQ. They use, I don't know, it said something else. I feel like these companies all want to come up with their own thing. It's insane to me that Windows doesn't let you do all this stuff within Windows. Which, by the way, I had to buy a new freaking copy of Windows with this. Because I didn't have the, So this motherboard was already a reactivation of a Windows copy I had from before. So they didn't want me to reactivate it. And I didn't have the time to get in touch with Microsoft because we have this stream. So I had to go and buy another copy of Microsoft Windows. I hate this. I hate Windows. Tax write-off, but I hate it. Stupid. Why don't we talk about things that are important though, like Star Citizen? Hello, Vastin. Welcome in, dude. You made it. Pump needs to be below the radiator, otherwise you get air bubbles in the pump. Yeah, it's like practically a message from God. What do you mean by opposite side of the cup? It's a cup. The only spot you can think of is where the handle is. No, it's... I'll show you. I'll show you. All right. Not sponsored. Drink your water, kids. Toe. It's like if you were going to take the cup like this and you drank like that from the opposite side. Which doesn't work, obviously. Don't try that at home or anywhere. Ooh, but do drink water at home. You can get $3 keys off the webs. I'm not trusting those, dude. I've seen enough people not be able to activate those to not waste my time on them. Wilderbeast, thanks for the prime, man. Appreciate you. You have to contact support. Dude, have you tried contacting Microsoft support? Do you know what Microsoft has been trying to do to everything for the last 365 freaking days? Like I said, I did not have the time to do it before this stream. Pump won't burn out if it's below the radiator. It's actually the correct and safest orientation. Indeed. I think we're all in agreement there. Nesville, give it a go, dude. Give it a go. Let me know how it goes. Meanwhile, we're gonna get to... Dude, my stream deck. What is going on? Take me back. I can't switch the screen because it keeps on putting me... I love tech, dude. There we go. Wow. I'm actually going to go ahead and take this button completely off. Because this is just going to ruin the rest of the stream. Your son swears on drinking from the other side to cure his hiccups. Oh, yeah, no, I've heard that before. And I mean, I guess it works. Just distracts you. Mrs. Tomato taught me to convince myself that I'm not a fish to cure hiccups. And you know, that worked too. Yeah, the good old automated systems. Love those. All right. Folks, space nerds, let's talk about Alpha 4.7. Star Citizen's next update is coming out, I think possibly next week. That's not a guarantee. I haven't heard anything. But considering how the PTU is performing right now, I think we could see it by like the 19th maybe, considering they want to end the ongoing Alliance 8 event on the 17th. But they also have yet another month, or yet another week in the month before the month ends. So we'll see it. Anyways, here's a patch watch. This is some of the extra kind of information we get that's not on the actual roadmap coming into the patch. And it gets dropped by the community team to talk a little bit about the stuff that's not huge, but does make a difference to the game. Engineering updates here, life support, radar stuff we've heard about, cave scanning reliability, an update to that, and some salvage stuff that's going on, as well as missile balance and access points. So we're going to go through this whole thing, a little deep dive. Classic. Sit back, relax. If you're in the stream, enjoy the chat as we get horribly what's the word? Ooh, a butterfly. Distracted. And if you're not, if you're in the video, come by the stream. It's good times. All right, let's start. Engineering gameplay updates are first. Alpha 4.7 is bringing a new round of balance to shields and armor. Aiming at improving combat pacing and ship durability. We love ship durability, dude. Shield balance updates first. These changes should make shield combat feel more consistent while reinforcing the intended strengths of energy-based loadouts when targeting shielded opponents. Are they finally doing it? They're increasing overall shield health across all ships. They're reducing the gap between shield variants to make their performance differences less extreme. And they are making energy weapons have increased damage on shields. I am actually quite excited for this for one key, very selfish reason. And it rhymes with let them pee. Hold on. That was supposed to be a smoother rollout. It's called VKB. It's got this dual trigger on it. 1, 2, right? So I get to start doing the whole shoot my energy weapons and then my ballistic weapons. And I'm so yay. Besides that, though, this is actually a pretty cool change. It's something a lot of people have been waiting for. The energy weapons are supposed to be making a big difference to shields, not necessarily hull. That was always a little bit weird, and the thought process was ballistics for hull, energy for shield. This is fairly common in sci-fi. Glad to see it starting to go more that direction. But we'll have to put it in practice and see how it actually works out. I haven't seen the updated numbers, but I imagine they'll go with armor. Let's talk about armor. This creates a clearer combat progression where heavier weapons or sustained damage are required to break through strong armor before lighter weapons can become effective. Alright, the points included in the armor balance update are that they are introducing minimum damage requirements for armor. When armor is at full health, certain smaller projectiles will no longer damage the armor, ship hull, or internal components. Okay. When the armor is at full health. Once armor has been weakened and reaches a lower health state, smaller caliber weapons will begin to penetrate and deal damage. What? That's ambiguous. What is a lower health state? Lower health state could mean 90%. Somebody tell me, chat, do you guys know? That's such a important point. That, because this could be like 15%, 20%, could be 50%, 75%. At some point, though, you will be able to start damaging ships with armor with smaller caliber weapons. I'm guessing smaller caliber means like size 1, size 2 guns, maybe size 3. And this is all armor. This is not just like heavy gunship armor or capital ship armor or something like that. Yeah, we need, this is incredibly, I mean, this is a patch watch. So the patch notes themselves should be more exact. But I don't know if they're going to put it all in the PTU patch notes. It better be in the live patch notes. That's where it matters. Yeah, it's not here. So we'll have to wait until that, I guess, to get more exact numbers, or at least wait until people can get in game and start testing this out. But yeah, this is all 4.7 stuff. By the way, did I say Flaro in the chat? Good to see you, my dude. Hope you're having a lovely week, friend. Okay. So, armor changes, interesting, but still not really decisive, especially not with the numbers. That being said, this is again another big change that we've been waiting for Star Citizen. This is something that started all the way back with... I don't know if I'm going to be able to find this, because I don't know when they actually started talking about this first. Maybe here. Might have been in this engineering. Let's see. Oh, what the... I hate it when there's no transcript. Why is there no transcript? Somebody just say, I like birds? Wait, hold on. Rewind. Rewind the song.
I like birds.
New song. Yeah, I don't think... Uh-oh. Where's my sound? I'm not going to be able to find out. For some reason, no transcript is loading for this video, so I can't actually find out where they say soft death here. But there was a feature brought in like 2 years ago, I want to say. I know how I could find it. I just think it would take too long. And it was, when they introduced it, I'm pretty sure they were saying that it was meant to simulate where ship destruction was meant to go. Ultimately, ship destruction was not supposed to ever be about just blowing up and dying. It was supposed to be a sequence of explosions and events, systems malfunctioning and breaking down, and a chance for you ultimately to stop whatever's happening or get off the ship before it happens. And even after they introduced soft death, is this it? No. Second life now. Even after they introduced soft death, it didn't really make that true. I think most of you guys would still think as soon as you're getting shot, you're going to get blown up, just because nobody's going to stop, right? If it's a player, they're not going to stop because they're just shooting. If it's an NPC, they're too stupid. They'll keep shooting until you blow up. So soft death kind of made a difference sometimes, but most of the time, not really. Engineering was supposed to also take another step forward with that, but again, the power plant thing is still making us blow up very quickly. Now armor is here to also add on to the scale and make things take a little bit longer and give you more time to think about it. They said on top of these changes, also armor will get a general balance pass to take these new changes into account. So an example is that a Perseus's heavy armor and a small ship weapon wouldn't be able to penetrate or damage it. However, once the armor has been weakened, a small ship weapon could be able to affect the ship. You'll need big guns to crack the tough shell first. Two camps of thought here. Some people never want a small gun to affect a large ship. Some people are okay with this. I don't know. I have to see how this plays out in the game. Because I want to say small ships should just never be able to damage hull or damage armor or get through armor. Oh yeah, see, we're freezing and stuff. That's concerning. Because because it's just, I don't know. I think small ships maybe shouldn't be able to damage these larger ships with more impressive armor. At the same time, though, it does make sense if the armor's weakened. No, the choppiness is not a you thing. It is a possible sign that my motherboard was not the problem. You're fine with it in a World War II game. No one would expect some guy in a rifle to blow up a tank. Fine with someone in a Gladius not being able to destroy a large ship. Yeah. It could be current OBS updates. So you guys are saying like you don't expect to do damage to the tank. What if another larger caliber gun already punched a couple holes in the armor? That makes sense, honestly. I think it's reasonable. It also still calls for strategy in the game. Which GPU do I have? I'm on the streaming in 1440. I'm on a 1080p. Or I'm on a 3080 Ti. Oh yeah. Man, that is weird. It says it's rescaling the output to 1920, but 1080 by 1920. Wait, 1080 by 1920. What? Oh, that's disabled. Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm at 1440. It's not a rifle versus a tank. It's a small tank versus a large tank. Yeah, but the small tank is... What do I consider a large ship? $100 meters. You personally hope that a small caliber maneuverability still has a dog in the fight. No, the gun shouldn't be able to do the damage, but the thrusters aren't armored. So that's where the next part comes in. Not really the next part. It's not really the part that's on here. It's the part that I actually talked about in the video I released on Space Tomato 2 earlier this week. Small caliber can do damage. Shield emitters, PDCs. Guess they do need a couple more targets after that. Thrusters. Like, you can damage those things at least with small caliber. Am I super desynced? Yeah, guys, sorry. I think OBS is just failing right now. We will have to fix that, I guess, after the stream. Wasn't the motherboard? I don't know what the it is. All right, let's continue. Life support adjustments. Life support systems are receiving tuning to better reflect the effort required to maintain ship atmospheres. This includes increased life support costs to maintain the atmosphere, reducing the exchange between life support systems in rooms, which means, yeah, it's going to be harder to refill your life support once you vented a room, maybe for a fire or just opening the door. And it's going to cost you more. They've reduced the exchange rates between connected rooms, which means... So yeah, the life support will fill your room up less quickly. Rooms will fill other rooms up less quickly, and it will take more power for your life support to work. Life support generators will now also take longer to refill rooms and perform heat exchange. I feel like that's included there. They're slowly trickling in the difficulties here. It's heading more and more towards the consequences and think about what you're doing style of gameplay that we've long been looking for. We'll see just how far they go with this, though. I have no idea what this is going to do to our gameplay or how this is going to affect the way we play. In practice, they said this means atmosphere management becomes slightly more deliberate, especially on larger ships where room-to-room air exchange plays a bigger role. Biggest thing I'm thinking here is, especially for the bigger ships, you're probably going to keep your life support disabled more when you're going into fights. I know we already do that kind of standard on the bigger ships when we need it. More power to weapons is more important than more power to lungs. I mean, as long as you have a helmet on. Obviously, your lungs need some kind of air power, so to speak. All in all, this is a placeholder while we wait for Maelstrom. The armor stuff, yeah. Yeah. That's fair. I guess by the time Maelstrom comes around, they'd be simulating the force of each round anyways. Interesting to think about, actually. If any of the armor system will stick around, any of this armor will stick around once they've done Maelstrom. I think it will, because the armor still needs to be defined outside of just the toughness of the material, I would assume. All right. Radar and detection changes are next. The type of installed radar and the amount of assigned power now have a direct effect on the range at which aim assist and ESP come into effect. This is reflected by the lack of pips outside the effective range and by appropriate UI elements during precision targeting. This is gonna make it so much fun to EMP people. Power and aim assist. Assigned power now directly affects aim assist range. This applies to both weapon aim assist and ESP. For example, assigning 2 points to your size 1 radar would set aim assist would set aim assist at 910 meters, while assigning 5 points would increase it to 1,105 meters. Not a crazy difference. This range is reflected on your HUD by the distance at which target pips appear, and it changes based on both the radar installed on your ship and the amount of power assigned to it. I feel like what I would love to see is possibly like a scale on the side, especially for turrets. I think this is a big thing for turrets, dude. Imagine if Imagine if, like, hitting a capital ship with distortion lowers their amount of power and disables the ability for turrets to lock onto your ships. There's a lot more strategy you start to get from this. And I'm thinking, I would love to see a dial or a meter of some sort on the side of the screen that is similar to your altimeter or your speedometer, that gives me the target distance where I know my pips will activate and shows me how far the ship that I'm targeted or that I'm locked onto is from that. Because maybe a ship is hovering outside of that distance and I don't know if they can tell. Maybe they know that, maybe they don't, but I can't tell because I can't see exactly when they're going to come in and out of it. But if somebody is just like kind of moving in and out of it, their pips are coming in and out, you can sort of tell that you want to stay locked onto them. I'm just thinking when I'm on a turret, I'm picking my target based on who's most likely to be able to be shot for the longest amount of time. And the information of when is that ship going to get pips is really important to me to know that. So I hope that's something we could see. I don't know if that made sense, but they say here that it's reflected by just when your pips appear, which I think is not as much info as I'd like. Radars now require more sustained power to operate, and activation power requirements remain similar or slightly lower. Check your ships when you get into them, because I have not had any thruster power because my radar was taking it all. Weapon, aim, assist, and ESP are available when a target is within your effective assist range. Increasing power to your radar extends that range, while reducing power shortens it. This adds another layer to power management decisions during combat. This also kind of gets into exploration a little bit, starting to understand how radars are working in distance and power. You just recently jumped onto Star Citizen, finding it quite overwhelming, but you're sure longtime players are excited for the new changes. This is a lot. Even for longtime players, I guess especially for longtime players, this is all a lot happening very fast. I'm not gonna lie and say that I understand it all or know how it's all gonna affect the game. There's way too much going on to know that, really. Before say last year, we would have seen changes this big maybe once a year. Generally not even that much. No, because this combination of changes that we're seeing here, the shield, the armor, the radar, the power, all of this balancing happening is like once every several years. This is actually a really big change. And then on top of that, you're also seeing crafting and inventory coming in on a fairly basic level. They're not in any way prepared for a real game, but it is definitely, these are all pretty big changes for a game like Star Citizen. Let us continue. Precision targeting. This is when like you zoom in, right mouse button, I believe. Precision targeting is also affected by radar power and assist range. Sub-targets, when you're targeting components on ships, are now visible during precision targeting when you are within a meaningful assist range. Stronger radar power helps maintain that range, making precision targeting more reliable during combat. Again, this is, it's kind of diluting your ability to control the game by just pressing a button. Crafting's doing the same thing, right? Crafting is saying those who are going to be best at combat are also going to have the best sources of materials. It's going to take a little while for that to really start kicking off, but that is the way it's going. You got to have, like, the basic stuff you get from the store is not going to be the best anymore. So crafting is making mining more important. All of this stuff is making power management more important, and actual strategy and understanding the game, as opposed to just being able to place a target on a target or place a reticule on a target and press a button. And I love that. I think that's where the kind of player skill that people were looking for starts to come in. Do you think they're finally going to add radars as something you can actually upgrade? Yes. I believe they're already in the store. I think it said that on the patch notes. Stand by, I'm gonna switch up our music here. Feel like we have... Maybe not that exciting. Cross-section detection. The ship cross-section signatures are no longer passively detected. Hello. They are now only detected through active pinging with your scanner. Honestly, that might be a... This also has some pretty big implications. So... that means that you can no longer, let's see, so you're only getting IR and EM passive signatures, which means you can now fly under the radar by turning your ship off. As long as somebody's not actively pinging for you, you will be invisible to them if you turn your ship off, I believe, unless there's something on your ship that's putting out a pretty big signature. This also means exploration gets a little more interesting. They can start hiding derelict ships in more places because we won't actually pick them up just by flying there. They'll reward the people who are actively scanning and pinging in those areas with finding some derelict ships. I hope they take advantage of that, because this is a pretty cool change. Yeah, they said it opens the door for fully stealth-focused builds, which I would, God. I could just see somebody dive bombing into Hathor with an Eclipse. They just like turn the ship off while they're still in space. Fly all the way down, turn it on, launch a torpedo, and fly away. New radar items. This one's for you. New radar components have been created and are planned to become available through in-game shops, missions, and potentially crafting. That means crafting not yet. The manufacturers Basilisk, CHCO, Garuda and Gorumberg, Navigante, and Willone offer new ship radars. They've added a new tutorial system for a long time now. Oh, it's needed a new tutorial system for a long time. The current tutorial system doesn't explain things well. You are not wrong. It leaves the new players confused. It barely explains even the basics of the game. Yeah, it's terrible. It's not even a tutorial at this point. I mean, even when it was brought in, it was already a little bit outdated for the game as it moved on. That was years ago. Now that, yeah, no, the tutorial is not the way to learn the game. Hey, these people are doing the things and the stuff with their ship stuff. All right, cave scanning reliability. The cave scanning setup has been reworked to make cave locations more reliable when scanning planets from your ship. Again, this is a little exploration focused. This should make it easier to locate caves for exploration. They said it. They said the word. Scream. Gnash the teeth. Missions or resource hunting without relying on inconsistent scan results. I still feel like I guess that's why they're fixing it here. We'll have to see if it's fixed in 4.7. Because in 4.6, definitely inconsistent results. I can't wait to be able to go to caves for real reasons that are worth going for. Like maybe valuable resources or something. I don't know. God, I hope they have valuable FPS resources. We'll see. We'll see. But this is good. We're getting into a more of a fully fledged game where you can just go and do different things, which is nice. Thank you. Sure. Salvage contract improvements. The salvage contract pool has been expanded to include additional ships. Many of these ships are now gold standard and feature physicalized components, which means salvagers will encounter a wider range of recoverable materials and parts. Let's go, dude. This is just across the board. It's adding more. It's adding more just like tasks into the game, things to actually fill your time with, besides quantum travel. It's funny though, because what does this mean? And how many ships are there? That's the one thing. This is great to hear. We love additional ships, but like how many? Because I'll show you some footage that we saw way back when they were trying to work on derelict ships. And they were telling us how they were getting into the process of creating all the different versions of a ship right when they were making the ship. So they could make the new version, the damaged version, the derelict version, the dirty version, all when they first create the actual ship for the game. So that way every ship after that came out could start to be made into derelicts for gameplay. But after that happened, we kind of got like, well, we got the one you just saw, which is the 600i. And we got the MSR, which was also in the same location. But these are definitely like purpose-built locations, right? They didn't really felt like they were being added to the game to be found for salvage and stuff like that. And it just took a long time. So I do hope that this additional ships includes dozens. I doubt it, but I hope, because sick and tired of salvaging the same 5 ships, you know? I actually don't know how many it is. What this means from them, though. You're going to have greater variety in salvage targets, obviously. More meaningful component recovery opportunities. That's probably the best part of this whole update, is more physicalized components. That's the best part of salvage, in my opinion. And then there's more dynamic salvage runs instead of repeatedly encountering the same ships. Again, more variety. I mean, you know, you're getting 3 bullet points out of that too, CIG. I see you. But I do feel like when I did a video for the Moth, the thing I focused most on was our component recovery. Because it makes it a full game when you're first getting to the ship. You got to figure out how to get the components out. Then you got to figure out how to scrape and how to crunch. And there's a lot of complications that still need to be added to that process. We still need to, I think there should be damage or danger in venting the ship, making sure that there's no pressurized gases. Speaking of pressurized gases, we should still be siphoning fuel. We heard from the industrial guys earlier that that's still in the plans for salvage, but it's not going to be happening for a little while now. And then I think there should also be some risks of, say, crunching up the ship before you've scraped the hull, or maybe you lose some value of the crunch when you don't scrape. Something that makes you make decisions on the process and the timeline that you take through your salvage job. This is a good step forward in that direction. Added variety is great. More component recovery is great. But I'd like to see salvage charges, breaching charges, fuel siphoning, and expanded fracture gameplay for sure. It's just a button press right now. Do you think we are going to see the addition of being able to finally salvage size 3 components from ships? Dude, I don't think they're going to change that. I think they might just... I think they wrote themselves into a corner and put size 3 ships into, or size 3 components into ships that didn't have doorways that could fit them out. And instead of remaking those ships, they're just like, just stick to size 2. Why not? Thank you. All you want is theaters of war? Oh, my friend. Exactly, like Hard Space Shipbreaker. We need a little bit of that in there. Hard Space has its own market, squarely in its grasp. But I would love to see some more danger in the salvage in Star Citizen. Not FPS danger. No, CIG, I don't mean have ships show up to blow me up while I'm salvaging. I mean, make the salvage itself a little hazardous, please. All right. Missile balance and ship access points. A balance pass has been made for missiles and ship access points, such as doors, ramps, and lifts. That's interesting. What does that mean? First is the missile changes. Missile explosions will no longer damage internal components inside a ship. Oh, thank you. That's... Dude, is that why missiles have been absolutely noping us out of existence lately? Missiles have been crazy. Previously, anything within the explosion radius could take damage, they said, including modules and internal systems located inside the hull. Because of this, explosion radii has to remain very small to prevent ships from being destroyed by a single hit. Thank you. That sucked. With internal damage removed, missiles can now be balanced more naturally around their explosion radius. I hope that works out. The new balance gives players a clearer choice in how they want their missiles to behave. Either direct, higher damage with a smaller explosion radius, or area, lower damage with a larger explosion radius. I like that. That's great. What am I seeing there? Hey, I'm sorry. I'm missing you guys on Twitch, dude. Y'all active. Rockstar was dropping some bits earlier. My bad, I missed you, dude. Much love. I appreciate you. And y'all checking in for your stream streaks. Don't miss out. It's a surprise Thursday. Dude, this is great. There's so much strategy starting to actually come into combat. It's funny because we've been saying that combat's the only thing they've been able to do for so long, and that's why everything has been based around combat. But this is way more nuanced combat than we've had before. I'm not saying this is going to make a big difference. It's definitely going to take balance, and it's probably not going to make a ton of sense because everything is so off in balance. But it's another variable that they can have in there. And as long as it's information they actually present to us in the game, which right now they won't. Disappointing fact of the matter, they're not telling us stats stuff right now. But when it does, it's yet another way for you to make a difference in your build and what you're doing, which is what we want in this game. And my encoder is loading. It's a 3080 Ti, bro. Come on, you can do it. Maybe I stream at 1080 Ti. I don't know, or 1080i, 1080p. Jesus. Damage values are also being adjusted, but overall balance should remain familiar. Specific values will shift slightly along the existing curve. These adjustments also apply to ground vehicles, they say. How we doing? We skipping around? I mean, even past live, this is probably going to get balanced for years. Do you think it's more the software? You think it's OBS? You miss when the different company security departments would actually fly around. Yeah, when they check for pirates and contraband, etc. It was really nice when the pirates were, when there was security. At least they tried to look like there was security. I don't know what the hell is going on with that. At this point, it is it's becoming one of the starker missing factors of Star Citizen, especially because I think last year must have been the 4.2 or 4.3. They said they were adding security back in. No, it's 4.4. Ladders. Missile damage. Missile damage radius update. Adjusting the missile explosion radius of all missiles from size 1 to size 7. Size 1, 1 meter to 2 meters. Size 2, 1.5 to 2.5 meters. Size 3, 2.5 to 3.5 meters. Size 4, 2.5 to 5 meters. Size 5, 3.5 to 5 meters. And size 7, 4.5 to 7 meters. And then today, they changed it so that they removed internal damage to components. So what do they damage? Just hull? Just armor and hull damage, I guess? That's interesting. So does that mean, like, if you do missile a ship that has no hull armor left, how can you not blow it up? Because at that point, no, I guess you can blow it up by taking all hull faces down to 0. They disabled it for 4.0 and claimed it would come back for server meshing, but it never did. No, last year, they told us we were getting security. I can't remember which update it was, but they definitely said they were adding security back around the space stations. Did they never actually add it? Was that just in, like, PTU or something? Definitely, I'm not seeing it here. Maybe they just never actually, maybe it was just a test in PTU or something. I would love to hear about it though. Maybe the FPS guys will talk about it today on Star Citizen Live. Why don't we get to that by finishing up this? Doors, ramps, and lifts. What is this about? Because missile explosion radii are changing, we also I love this song. Sorry. We also reviewed the durability of ship access points. Many doors, ramps, and lifts currently have very low health values and were never properly tuned. Without adjustments, the new missile explosions could blow open a ship with a single hit, which would look odd and break immersion. It would also suck, because that didn't matter before when your door got blown open. But now it can vent your whole ship. If that door happens to have another door leading to your door that is open, leading to your habitation area, leading to the people who are inside, potentially without helmets, then a single missile hit could just vent it and kill all those people. Kind of would suck. They said to address this, we are increasing their health to better match overall ship durability. This should result in more believable damage behavior while still allowing access points to be destroyed under heavy sustained fire. Okay, but this then really seriously calls for breaching charges, and that, my friends, is not an unmentioned topic. We've gone over it quite a few times here on the channel. We need breaching charges. Yes, the doors have more armor, as they should. They should be hard to get through with normal, regular, small arms fire, but then give us specialized equipment for getting through this stuff so that we can start having some fun with this. As soon as you add breaching charges into the game, you can start giving us real boarding missions with NPCs and stuff, you know? Either way, I'm glad that they did balance it so that it's a little harder to open these up. Hopefully we do get something that adds more of that, like, feeling of specifically getting into a ship. But maybe, yeah, I was going to say, maybe they talk about it during SCL today. How about we get to that? Thank you so much for coming to this deep dive into the last updates of 4.7. A lot of combat balancing here, but I think people who are into exploration actually have quite a bit to be excited about in 4.7. From the ability to finally start finding materials that people are interested in getting and selling those locations to them at the very least, to being able to find caves more easily, to derelict ships seemingly having some difference in scanning. All of this is starting to come together to make exploration seem a lot more realistic, as long as they let us save some locations and share data points soon. Oh my god. That's all we need. But that is it for that. Let's get to Star Citizen Live. Jared is probably is gonna be in trouble. Hey. That sounds like good fun, dude. That's what I like to hear. Ever try to bring down shields with a size 1 or size 2 repeater? Oh my god. Your hot take is that no FPS weapon should be able to break open a ship's exterior door. You should have to employ hacking or special breaching tools. I agree. I think maybe like a railgun could do it, but I do agree with everything else. Have you played Hard Space Shipbreaker? Have I? Hell yeah. Actually, have I published any Hard Space Shipbreaker gameplay? I cover it, actually, on this channel, on Space Tomato 2. Yeah, I played it a little while ago. I'll drop this in the chat if you want to see how that went. But yeah, I love that game. Gotta get back to that sometimes. It's so freaking relaxing. Music is so good. Yeah, the cutting tool should be able to cut through doors. I agree. I hear a jet. Not to be conspiratorial, but I feel like there's been more jet activity here over the last couple weeks. Sure, that has nothing to do with anything. Not just railgun in boom tube. I don't know about a rocket launcher, maybe. Used to be able to cut through doors with the cutting tool. I remember that. Yeah. F-22s? No, they're usually F-16s. I feel like almost any time I see, even when we're in Turkey and we see jets fly over their F-16s. Squeaky little thing here. Your emotional support railgun. I gotta keep my thoughts safe. Hold me, railgun. The ad for today was Project Hail Mary. Dude, I heard that was actually really well done. I am surprised, but I am hearing from the Project Hail Mary fanboys that they actually did a good job with that movie. I don't know anything about that movie, but I think that is phenomenal. Taking a sci-fi adaptation and actually doing a good job with it in a film, that's exciting. We don't get that too often.
I'm serious. Start the show.
B-52s flying over you. Sheesh. Heavy boys. Alrighty, my friends, space nerds, welcome in. We've got a Star Citizen Live to go through. A little bit of a surprise. We're here live on Thursday, unlike normally. Well, actually, we're doing this more often because there's more stuff to cover. And it is a PTU week, so we're getting into it. Today, we're going to go over FPS gameplay. The devs have come in for a nice Q&A. And yeah, these threes are going to have good things to say. Zach, dude, you always make me feel so relaxed in your style. It reminds me of the pants I used to wear way back in the day. A fan of denim, but seriously, always looking kind of steampunk in the vibes. Appreciate that. This should be a good one. I've heard that it's got some juicy info, and FPS gameplay does not just include guns and combat. It includes a lot of the tools that we're using, salvaging, tractor beams, potentially breaching charges. Also deployable shields and a lot of that stuff. They're taking questions from the chat, from the community that we've covered over this past week, and they're going to answer us, hopefully, the best things here. Thank you for joining me. Jinko jeans, dude. Yeah, it reminds me. Yeah, reminds me of Jinko. All right, here we go.
I'm serious. Start the show. Go to camera. Go ahead. Go ahead. This entire... Oh. That's right. This entire spaceship, go to the wide. This entire spaceship is, oh, you can't see it in the wide, that doesn't work. The wide's the only shot, you don't see anything. Go to the other cameras, look at that. This entire spaceship is full of all this stuff behind them, like this is all my stuff. Yeah. There's very few stuff that actually belongs to CIG in this thing. These are all my things that I've collected over the years and stuff like this. It's one of the reasons, one of the big things, like when they said we were gonna finally build the spaceship, and I'm like, great, I'm gonna get so much of my stuff out of my house.
More storage space.
Which just freed up more room in my house to then get more stuff.
It's cheaper than paying for storage.
That's true.
Yeah. Now this is my new guy. We're not technically at 4 o'clock yet, so we haven't started. We're still on my time, people. Look at this guy. This is my newest guy. This came just today. Can we zoom in? Look at that. Nope.
Oh.
There it is. There it is. This is my new meteor in disco paint. This just arrived this morning. From the tremendous
GII colors, huh?
It's less blurry in real life.
It's less blurry in real life. Actually, this might be
whenever they add.
This is actually crystal clear.
Hey, GII, my people in the chat, I know you're there. Whenever they start adding this paint to all the things in the game, that's gonna be our go-to paint. We're gonna start crafting the hell out of that one.
You should get your glasses checked. All right, you can go back. But yeah, so anyway, I collect all kinds of stuff. I just got into those Lego modular.
Hey, Elfian.
Oh yeah,
yeah, Zach's in this show, dude. Hey, when are you going on Star Citizen Live? I would love to hear about your stuff.
And then took my Sesame Street and I bought a
Welcome in,
second
by the
Sesame
way.
Street and I combined them to actually make a Sesame Street modular building that goes inside the street with all the others. And then I've gotten crazy and I've replaced all of the sidewalks with cobblestone now. So I found a third-party vendor that was selling me like 500 of the little bits, and so I've got all this multicolored cobblestone now instead of things. And I've just
Lego
designed.
cobblestone?
Well, no, like little cobblestone Lego
Actually,
pieces.
just cobblestone bits,
Just the 1x1 studs,
Right.
the studs and the flats and the circles and the squares and the different colors.
Yep.
You know, the sand blue, which is a lovely sand blue. Your shirt's like a sand blue.
Great.
Sure, it's like a
Well,
lovely.
There you
sand
go.
blue.
He's blending in.
But done the cobblestone, and then my next thing is I've just designed a new like Victorian style light post, because the lamp posts that come with those are kind of bad. So I'm going to replace all the lamp posts and stuff. So
You just lock in with everything. You know what I mean? I've never seen you not fully 110% in something.
so
Am I about to be told off?
no. About 2.5 years ago,
Yeah.
I availed myself of the wonderful NHS and whatnot,
Yeah.
and I went and got.
Wish you
diagnosed.
knew. You're really hoping you
I-
can
I'm
share
going to
something
keep
at
even
some
doing the
point.
things, like telling
So
about
do
my
I,
whole
man.
life and how my life
Well, I
was
hope things
right
are
on
going
sleep
well
and
for
what
you,
this is.
dude. I hope you're
The
having
guy
a
listens to me,
good
the guy
time.
listens to me for about
Good
15
first quarter of the year.
and then walks over
And hope you enjoyed
to
the
a
stream
little
today.
spindle, pulls out a little 3-panel pamphlet about hyperfocus ADHD and hands me this pamphlet. And there is nothing more devastating than realizing this unique snowflake that you
Yeah.
think you are is completely in a 3-panel pamphlet. It's just like, is this you? And I look at it and it's like the cheat code to my entire existence. And I'm like, oh.
Did you ever get on medication? Because I didn't want to, because I worried it would fix me.
No,
You know what I mean?
I'm not on any medication. Anybody that watches SCL regularly can attest
Yeah, I
to
was
that.
gonna say, because what if you're not funny anymore? Like,
But that hyper focus.
ADHD medication sucks.
I don't know. All right, projecting.
Yeah. But the hyper focus is the only way that I get anything done. All right, time to start the show. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'm excited to see
everybody.
Luke on too.
Welcome
I honestly,
to Star Citizen Live.
one of the things that I'm sure he's not going to get to today, I'd love to ask for Luke Presley, is the scale of the planets. Because I don't think anybody has commented on that in a long time. And the only official explanation I can find for the scale of the planets, why they are what they are, is from Luke Presley. But that's like 6 years ago. And I kind of want to know if there's any plan to change that. Especially because of what you're working on. Sorry.
Q&A, FPS combat.
I always
gameplay.
end
I'm
up
your
looping
host,
back around
Jared
to
Huckabee. If you've never seen Star Citizen Live before, it's where we take about an hour out of the end of our week, invite our developers on, and make them answer a whole bunch of questions. Talk about various aspects of Star Citizen, its continuing development, why this doesn't work, where are you going with this. Basically, most topics are on
These
the
are
table,
so good.
provided the guests on the show can actually speak to them. That's usually the hardest part. A lot of the questions that people like to ask are great questions, but they're for developers who aren't on the show this week. On the show this week, we have 3 members who work on various aspects of FPS-related combat and gameplay. Not just combat stuff. It's a lot of focus on combat, but FPS gameplay extends more than that. We'll talk about items and tchotchkes and stuff like that. So let's take a few moments to introduce our people who will do their best to answer your question, starting with the person immediately to my right. Luke, tell everybody who you are, what you do for Star Citizen.
Where do I look?
You just look
Anyway.
at me. There you go.
Hi, I'm Luke Presley. I am a senior principal designer on the systems design team.
Senior
Yeah, I thought you were looking at me.
Just look at him instead of the
senior
camera.
principal. No. What does senior principal mean?
He's well old.
Senior, yeah. I get paid more.
He's part of the, he's part of the furniture
Extra
at this
old.
point.
Yeah, I've been here. Well, we've been doing this on and off for about 10 years now.
Yeah, 11.
You had hair.
I remember
Definitely
flying
not
out to
counting.
you to do a...
What was your first show?
It was in LA.
All right. Zach, we'll come to you in a minute. Sam, tell
That
everybody
must
who
be
you are and what
crazy.
you do for Star.
That must be like, I wonder what it's like to be working a career and be in a place like all the way over in Los Angeles area, and just all the people you're saying bye to them. Hey, I'm moving to another continent. We're going all the way over to the UK to work. And they're like, wow, what are you going over to do? You're like, well, it's a video game. Now, I don't find that weird. I think, dude, video games are crazy crazy business. That definitely requires a big move like that. But I'm just wondering how like the general population would take that. Because a lot of folks don't know how much money or potential there is in video games. So that would be pretty wild to tell them, I feel like. Just they just so many people moved over to Manchester for this game. Oh, you didn't miss anything yet. Just intros going on.
Star Citizen.
Yep. So I'm Sam. I'm the lead level designer in the UK, and my work is making all the wonderful locations, basically.
And the bad ones, don't.
That's true. Also the bad ones, technically.
Oh, Sam's on location.
You're the reason I get stuck on Geo, or
Depends.
okay,
Blame art. Blame art.
Yeah, it's also art as well.
okay. And Zach, tell everybody who you are, what you do, and why we're going to try really hard not to make this the last show they ever let us do.
Yeah, Rich said, right, you're coming on, no drama, no controversies. And I said, I'll try my best. And he said, well, if you do that, it's not good enough. But basically, I'm Zach. I do FPS systems. So I've done player controller. I've done the guns that you interact with, creatures, human FPS AI, and yeah, cool stuff like that.
And tell me about who you're wearing.
Who I'm wearing. So this is a Japanese fashion designer called Hare from Osaka. Very good guy. This is from Hollister, Boo. And this is from an independent fashion designer in Dublin.
Not Jinko.
Did you expect that?
I didn't actually expect to have an answer for that. I thought I was going to get him. I was wrong. All right, so the subject.
Now you tell us who you're wearing, Jared. He's going to be like, this is CIG. Hey, a big thanks to Commander Tanith, my friend. Thank you for the freaking song. Oh, God. Why did I use this again? Holy crap, that was awful. I'm switching to this. That doesn't work near as well. Oh, man, that was... Can you even see that? You can't even see that, man. Oh, God, that was so bad. All right. Oh, God, that looks even... No. You're up there, man. Okay? You will be counted on toes, gang. Thanks for supporting the stream, dude. Getting us closer to the goals for the day. And getting a couple more people access to those exclusive videos. Elfie and CIG relocated you, or helped you relocate to the UK as well. How's it been over there, dude? How have you been getting used to it? Wait, you're in the UK? Holy crap. Thank you very much, dude. Oh, Shinobi! Oh, I'm glad you didn't let me get started first. I get to write your name down, dude. Thank you for... Okay. Thanks for the subs, dude. Here we go. Oh, God. Oh, God, please. Oh, please. Oh. We're good. We're good. That's actually scary now. Thanks for the support, though, my friend. That's not how I feel about your subs. It's much more of that kind of noise. All right, let's get back to it.
Of this week's show is FPS combat and gameplay. As we are wont to do sometimes, we put up a thread on Spectrum, asked you all to submit your questions, vote up the ones you want to see answered most. During this week, Zach, Luke, and Sam went through, selected the questions that they thought they had the best information to give. I added one or two curveballs. We researched the answers, we ran them by Rich, as he says, just to make sure that we give you the best answer. There's a couple of questions in here that are going to have really long answers. You might notice, you see the pieces of paper on people's, on the lights, I guess. Some of these questions were very involved, so we wanted to get some notes and make sure we
This is that crunchy stuff we were asking for last year.
provided the best information possible. So, all that said, we're going to start off with this question from Star Citizen Disco Lando. Where's my goddamn Apex battle card?
Okay, so I'm not on creatures anymore, but I did ask the people who were on creatures.
Why not?
Oh, not because of anything bad, but because it turns out me doing everything is not good for development. So we've got some great new people. We've got a creature team now that are more focused on it, don't have to share resources. Basically, working on it, dialing it in. I won't speak for their work. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, it's one of those. I probably shouldn't have started with this question.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and play what they're talking about over the top as they talk about this, because you might not remember or may have joined after they showed this. This is from CitizenCon 2024. This is the not original sandworm. This is the old new sandworm, as opposed to the new sandworm, which is the one that we've been fighting at Lazarus and Pyro. This is the old new sandworm, not to be confused with the old sandworm, which is from the Planet Tech demo in 2016. They've gone through a lot of sandworms. So I'll just let this play out in the background while they talk about it here.
I just wanted to get it out of the way. Basically, it's one of those things, we've been talking about this thing for so long at this point. I was just having a conversation with the newly minted creature team and whatnot, and it's the expectations on this are now from being first introduced in 2016, from being brought back again in 2023.
Yeah.
You know, whatnot. We've come really close to getting it where we wanted, but then there's just something that doesn't make it feel right. There's something that doesn't quite make it the apex experience we've been looking for. So they're still working, and I think you spent this amount of time on it. You want to be sure you get it right, or at least have the best chance of getting it right.
It's easier to make an FPS boss fight because there's a lot of context that you can refer to and you know it works. Name me a game where you have multiple people in multiple spaceships fighting a humongous worm, and how you make that fun, and
air and on the
that's
ground.
in an MMO with a huge planet with the servers. So
They also need to. So
hold on.
forgot there's 2 videos I have to pause here. So they've been talking about this on the monthly report. I think this is actually a fairly big deal because this could be a good template for essentially monster hunting in Star Citizen. The things they're mentioning about this in the monthly report are the idea that it's going to be navigating the planet on its own. Kind of like they show in Dune Awakening. This thing is going to be moving around whatever planets it's on, and you will be able to bait it out by doing things on the ground and making it get near, and then you'll have to keep vehicles on the ground to make sure it keeps coming out of the ground, and then keep ships in the air so you can keep doing damage to it. And it's this whole thing about hunting it, obviously for the minables and the crafting harvestables that show up on it. It's really why they introduced this whole thing, was the pearls and stuff, which we are getting now. But this is like Monster Hunter in space, and they've shown us just how far they want us to go with all of the different animals that are coming. Obviously the sandworm, but there's a lot. All of these by Star Citizen 1.0. All of them are supposed to have harvestables you can collect. All of those harvestables are supposed to go towards things that you can craft, and they should all be findable on the different planets in places that you would expect. So I think this is actually pretty important to nail, and I'm glad they're talking about it. Just want to go on a tangent about that.
It's somebody hold on. Beardshire has used their opportunity to be a first-time chatter and said vaporware. Good. No, still working on it. It's just wanting to make sure it's everything we want it to be. Next question. You keep saying you know the med gun is wildly OP and then never doing anything to fix it. What's the plan for making medics actually relevant in the game long term, as it's a profession slated for 1.0, but it's currently entirely useless?
So, we're aware that the med gun is very strong at the moment. We've commented on it before, and obviously with crafting upcoming, there's going to be lots of balance changes, there's going to be lots of weapon adjustments and things like that, and we're looking to address it then. But more importantly, on the road to 1.0, the medic profession, all of that is slated in to be locked in, get lots of improvements on, lots of new features with, and things like that. So, medics right now, sure, but medics on the road to 1.0 will get a lot more breadth and depth with the things that they can do.
What does that mean? That is, dude. I need to know. He said a lot of new features there. Okay. Now we have this. This is supposed to be life, death, and life again after 4.3.1, which is where we are now. Generally, this is talking about having multiple imprints at once, meaning the ability to respawn places. Med beds having different conditions like regeneration timers and UEC fees. The ability to have a regen interface or a respawn screen. Some rescue beacons, as we know about those. And then just a note to first responders. I'm toes. I'm starting to lose my patience on the medical stuff, because it really does feel like it's suffering at the expense of everything else. Granted, everything isn't pretty important. I would say everything else holds more importance than just the medical profession. But like, it keeps getting these weird things added that make them less and less important. And everything that we have to go off of on the medical gameplay guide for what is the future of medical gameplay is really mostly focused on respawning, which doesn't tell us much about medical gameplay. So when they go on camera and say things like, there's a lot of features that are coming to medical, it's like, well, then at least an idea of what that might be, what direction this is going for. Are people who want to be medics in this game, should they be sticking with this game or not? I don't know what to tell people who want to do medical gameplay in Star Citizen. Hopefully that comes out soon, because it feels like it's taking a while. Holston Coop, dude, thank you for the membership. Toes Gang. 63 heckin' months, bro. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good week. And the travels are treating you well. And thank you, Bremson Loser Zug, I think. I think that's the name for the sub on Twitch, man.
I'll go into the medic armor in my monologue as well.
Oh yeah, you've got a big long section here coming up, so we'll get into that.
Medical armor is a good, sounds like
Sam,
good insight.
This question is probably right up your alley.
You'd hope.
Can you address the lack of level design that facilitates FPS PvP? We're just getting right into the questions here. And remember, they picked the question, so they're not shying away from the tougher topics here. Could you address the lack of level design that facilitates FPS PvP? To explain, even the contested zones separate people. Blue doors, timer, separate people out, making it hard to run into people. All the other places are worse. A lot of places are very linear and choke pointy in their level design, making them not play well for PvPvE SC sandbox scenarios. What do you have to say?
So a lot of our older locations were built with just a lot less level design resource, essentially. But what we're trying to do now is that, obviously this game is very heavy on PvE. There's always going to be PvP. That's never going to stop. And we've started building locations basically intended for PvE. And those locations are always going to be more linear. They're always going to be more set up for that. And when instancing comes online, that's not going to be a problem for everyone else either. You're going to go to a location and you know it's only going to be you, so you're going to enjoy your PvE gameplay. When it comes to PvPvE or PvP locations, with the bigger level design team now, we can actually focus on making sure that there are multiple entrances. The sightlines are actually cared for and ensured that it makes sense for multiple teams coming in from different angles, and that we just make sure that cover placement and all of that sort of stuff is up to scratch, basically.
The LD team's a lot bigger now as well,
yes,
compared to where it was like 2 years ago.
We've gained 6 people in the last year.
Yeah, I don't think it's. I don't think it's inappropriate to say that level design was probably underserved.
Yes.
In previous years of Star Citizen.
Level design has gone up immensely. It's taken like the bunkers we were running before compared to the Onyx facilities.
Development. Why that is, variety of reasons, but it's been recognized in the last 12 months, and the rectification is in process. Like you said, is it doubled? It's probably more than doubled at this point.
I think it's about doubled now.
Yeah.
We still got a few more coming, but
yeah. So we recognized this challenge early on. We recognized we weren't doing enough to support it, and the fix for that is underway. I just saw a review of Starkitect locations on Tuesday, and you could see right away. I'm like, oh, these immediately look different than the stuff. Not just with the visual stuff. I'm talking about the layout, with the amount of cover points, with the amount.
They said Starkitect.
Interior, exterior, combined, cover spaces where you're half inside, half outside. Lots of moving in, moving out, and stuff like this. The big towers, to make snipers incredibly deadly and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot more effort. There's a lot more effort going in, and I think the stuff we have coming down the pipe, Rockcracker, and then going forward, the new Siege of Wars and the municipal works are going to benefit from that renewed focus on level design.
Same as the Starkitect stuff as well in the future.
Yep. There's always going to be a gadgets question. Any progress on gadgets like trip sensors, scanners, remote detonated charges, and so on?
So I've got an answer, and it has the word Squadron 42 in, so I'm going to read it off the page. Currently, we have the deployable shield, breaching charge, and some other bits in Squadron 42, and do plan on shipping that in the PU in the future. We also have an area denial grenade coming this year as well. We plan to add more gadgets in the future, and we do like doing some surprise community wants, like the binoculars, which are much asked for.
Aerial denial grenade, like a smoke grenade?
Okay. That's cool.
Smoke grenade would actually be really useful in this game just for marking targets.
Luke, this might be wrong. I don't know. I'm guessing. what plans are there to make clothing serve a purpose when an undersuit and armor is better in almost every way?
Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, clothing is never going to have the same fulfill the same purpose as those things. But it's never going to be space worthy. But we are, working on combat clothing, which will have more damage mitigation. So if you want to imagine a kind of John Wick style suit, that kind of thing. But yeah, I think the main problem now is that it's one or the other. You have to wear clothes or you have to wear armor, right? And that's where Starwear is going to come in and change all that, because the purpose of clothing is cosmetic. It's to dress, the way you want to look. So to just go into that in a bit more detail, you'll be able to, with Starwear, have your undersuit on if you want it, and then put certain, jackets over the top, all the jackets, certain trousers, gloves, boots on the top, then armor on the top of that. And then, in future, we're going to have hoods and big overcoats that can go over some of the armors too. So all these layers.
It's like we said at SitCon as well, there will be areas where you can't wear armor. So clothing and all that will have particular uses and things like that.
We've talked about that in the past, like locations that prohibit it. And you have to kind of turn things into customs. So you wearing your, I don't think we're going to ever block an undersuit in that scenario, but it's probably more useful to wear the kind of combat clothing we're talking about.
There's never been an MMO where cosmetics isn't the end game.
A couple people in chat were right away. Fashion Citizen is endgame.
It's interesting. So Ben Dorsey was saying this almost. Remember this from back when they were first introducing Reputation.
Even have talked about some fun stuff where, like, Konstantin Herson, for instance, is a bit of a snob. You walk in wearing a bad coat or some weird clothes, he might think less of you. You can also.
So they did not mention that at all here. Not to say that that's not in the plans anymore, but that's the kind of thing that generally comes up here. I'm not saying they're not going to do it, but I'm surprised that they didn't say anything about it. What they are talking about, though, is yet another opportunity for us to actually go back to that same video from CitizenCon 2024, because that's where Starwear was introduced. That's this video. Basically getting to wear armor over clothes and the idea behind it. That was something that they were very excited to introduce. The people were very excited for.
As you all saw, jacket on top of backpacks on clothing, then
and this was one of the big things from that update. And then it also included
and all the
stats
shit.
coming with your armor.
So if we look at the
again, this is all the same kind of stuff that they're designing for and they've been releasing armors for over the last year, but now at least Luke Presley's talking about it in more detail here.
There's been an MMO where cosmetics isn't the end game.
A couple of people in chat were right away. Fashion Citizen is endgame.
Someone said, "Is Zach showing off Starwear?"
Possibly. A very early iteration. No, but it's it cannot be overstated. I'm really glad you brought that up. We've Chris, other people have mentioned for years that this idea of wanting to facilitate the wearing of clothing as opposed to armor. He hates that everybody wears armor everywhere. So this will always be kind of a goal at some point to go to. When I first saw the
gotta give us suit lockers then, man.
The outfit scanners that were
I
part
see it
of
happening
Stormbreaker,
this year,
the ones where it forced you to change into the scientist outfit in order to open the door. Like, I was really excited about what that means for the future. Forcing people to switch into outfits as opposed to armors in order to infiltrate something. The gameplay options there were really exciting. As like this, so yeah, it's combat clothing is a bit interesting though. I heard the term and I didn't realize not full on John Wick kind of thing.
Wait, not bulletproof.
Yeah,
no, but some decent mitigation. Not to the point of being
we're
better than light.
There's 1,000 years in the future. It's going to be clothing that's a little better than what it is today, anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I'm going to ask one more question before we go to Luke and his treatise here. Are there plans to add spatialization for sound in FPS? I think sound plays a major role in combat, but currently we can't locate our enemies or tell if they're wearing heavy or light armor.
Yes, I think this one's for me.
Sounds like an FPS scanning kind of.
It's for you.
Kind of thing.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's why I don't ever
FPS scanning.
I'm just going to talk for hours.
Give it to us now.
I've talked to the audio team, and they're really keen on enjoying this armory factor. reworking what we've got so far, so that yeah, if you're wearing a heavy suit, you actually sound extremely heavy. But like beyond that, they really want to have the wearer feel that they're in a heavy, you know, suit. So if you're wearing that massive radiation suit, you'll feel isolated. Like everything will be muffled around you as well. And I've like generated this big list of audio I want to hear specifically on, like the stealth suit that we're going to be having. Like that wants to be the quietest sounding, because no matter what like emissions it gives out or and all that stuff under the hood, if you can hear your feet squeaking against the floor as you run, you know, sneak up behind someone, that's really off-putting. So yeah, like it's really important to nail all that.
It's also worth pointing out that footsteps have gone through a big iteration in Squadron as well, in terms of like when you sprint in SC right now, it's, you know, you get essentially you have the heel down and the foot forward making a noise, but now it's just one foot plan. It's also reading the context of the environment as well. So if you're on like railings, it will make railing noises and things like that. So we've gone from like a generic footstep noise to an environmental context noise.
I was just thinking about these really nice pair of Jordan 1 comforts. It's the classic Jordan 1, but the sole's been redesigned for maximum comfort. And it's got this little like triangle shaped cutout at the bottom, which is supposed to be great. But because I don't walk normally, my gait is weird, that little triangle makes a suction sound when I walk. So I got really excited to wear them. They look great. They're super comfortable. When I came to the office, it's like every time I walk, and it's just, I don't wear them because...
That sounds like the kind of thing that you'd hear in Nick's. So here is a video where they talked about this. This is just to give you an idea of how long we've been waiting for these audio updates they're talking about. Actually, I can do you one better here. If I can spell correctly, then I can do you one better here.
Quick.
So here's some of the audio improvements.
Sounds good, but what if we wanted a little more realism?
So this was CitizenCon 2023.
Mode, we get that sense of isolation again, giving the location a different colour and adding variety to the audio experience. Player breathing and Foley are exaggerated, and other sounds are transmitted through physical contact.
So this is the kind of stuff they're talking about here, and they were talking about it back in 2023. And then we could go back to one of our favorites that we've been referencing this video quite a bit, 2024 CitizenCon, where they showed us this system again.
Really cool stuff, explosions. So we can put a cinematic element, a shockwave element, and a delayed speed of sound effects.
Space nerds like explosions. What can I say?
Shockwave and the explosion itself.
But it's not just that, it's adding like a Doppler effect to sounds.
To so you can hear the pitch and tempo changing as we move relative to the Benny Noodle machine, and this is all fully systemic, no special treatment for this sound.
They also want to do other things like gunshots and
or even
just like there's a lot of audio stuff they want to do.
He's not dead.
They've been showing it to us for years, though. Here is the original, one of the original pitches. This is again 2023 CitizenCon, or not CitizenCon, Inside Star Citizen.
Put simply,
so before they started calling it Star Audio.
To vibration, and in terms of our tech, it's the sound that they make as a result. We're aiming to fill a gap that currently exists with certain things not dynamically responding, at least in an audible sense, to player input and events transpiring in the world. We want to add another layer to the soundscape that just sprinkles a little more life into it and makes it just that little bit more real. You're there, you're experiencing it.
Our new tech allows us to quickly create resonances around points in the world.
You see in the top left-hand corner, they call this Claudius. This was the original version of Star Audio.
Around those points.
We can add a resonance driver node in Claudius and set the size of its sphere of influence and also how long it takes to decay to nothing. We can then add resonator nodes to any audio object that we see fit. When the resonator is caught in the sphere of influence of the driver during gameplay, we use the resulting output to decide how loudly the object should resonate.
So this is all just to give you an idea. He's the same guy who was talking in this demo right here, actually. This is all just to give you an idea of the work that they are doing towards this audio update that they're talking about in Star Citizen Live here. It's been going on for a long time, and clearly they've been using it to at least improve what we've already been experiencing in the game. Ship sounds have been getting a little bit better. Audio design's been getting better in the levels recently. But there's still not this big push to get towards all these cool features we keep seeing in their demos. So I don't know when that's going to happen, but I think it's related to what they're talking about here. Floodgates?
They're indoor shoes now.
I can't. And I get other people to check them out. I would look online. Nobody else has this problem. It's just I walk wrong.
Is there a leaflet for that?
I don't know. No, not for that one.
If you want to sell them, there's some people who pay good money.
Dude, if you want to find somebody else who does what you do, go on Reddit.
Like the pulverizer have a slowdown effect from having them equipped on the back. Are there plans to give them weapon inertia as well, as in they handle slower than other weapons?
So just to start off that, they don't have a slowdown effect. They just weigh a lot, and depending on how much weight you have on your character moves slower. So we don't do like oh, this gives you a 20% movement speed debuff just because you have this weapon on. It's systemic. There's weight. The more weight you have, the more you slow down. But yeah, go on with the weapon inertia. Do you want to handle it? Because I can.
No, the thing is, I thought this had come last, so I thought I'd have done my spiel on.
So one thing we're talking about with the armor work is essentially having it so. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the heavier the weapon is, the more weapon inertia you get. So if you've got heavier arms, it's easier to handle heavier weapons. So if you're wearing like light arms and you have an LMG, you'll essentially have a lot more weapon sway. Think with the Fresnel, how long that takes to correct the sight picture. That's an example of something that, you know, if you had light and you picked up heavy, it's a way of saying, cool, you want to fit in the archetype, that fantasy of being like, oh, I'm a super heavy armor wearing, I've got my LMG, I'm walking in a location, versus like, oh, I'm light and I've got a pistol. Because as you know, in real life, the shorter the barrel of a weapon is, the lighter it is, the easier it is to move around. Like I was talking to Luke about this, and the reason.
Hear me out. To help balance this, it sounds like he's saying heavy armor will make you more able to do heavy armor things, right? What if they powered all heavy armors? And then it made actual sense that maybe you could do stuff more readily because heavy armor naturally has a battery in it and you have to replace that battery every so often. Do you hate me for that one? They've talked about power armor and we know that there are batteries in the game. This seems like a pretty interesting opportunity to at least try it.
The shorter the barrel of a weapon is, the lighter it is, the easier it is to move around. Like I was talking to Luke about this, and the reason why pirates always have short swords is because if they're on boats and they're killing people close, that's why they have short swords. That's why people clear runes with like pistols and SMGs and things like that.
All right, we're gonna get to your question. Since it sets up, I wanna preface this. This is actually 3 questions.
Yeah, it is 3 questions. I'm answering here.
It is 3 questions. So, you got your notes, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, I want to show you. Can you see this? This is the notes for this next question. This is all one question here. It goes on to the next page. It's all more question. Yeah. It's that much. You wrote that much, Luke. So.
Hey, we're bringing content.
That's why we love them, dude. I freaking love these guys, man. I love these guys.
Zach and I are going to go get a beer.
Can you get me one?
Okay. All right. So these are 3 questions. 3 questions that all have one combined answer. Okay. Question 1. How will the upcoming armor rework make it so armor choice is more diverse? Question 2. What benefits are planned for players who wear light and medium armor in PvP and high-end PvE environments versus heavy armor? Currently, the movement bonus obviously doesn't typically offset the damage reduction of heavy armor. And question 3, with the addition of crafting armor coming, what's the progress on armor functionality? Armor roles like tank, recon, heavy scanning, stuff like that. All right, you ready?
We're about to rerun that whole Starware presentation.
You don't have like a single camera for Luke, do we? Oh, we do. There we go.
Right? I haven't seen this yet, okay? But I feel like what we're about to see, or what we're about to hear, is going to
So
be
we
a
look at the
whole
pilot
bunch
stats,
of this.
They have fantastic mobility. Like I mentioned, great G-force resistance for when combat takes them to the limit of human endurance. And finally, this suit comes with the best EVA capability in its class for when remaining in your ship is no longer an option.
Right, all this kind of stuff.
So if we look at the pilot stats, they have fantastic mobility, like aimed at less
We
at
already
pure
went over
combat and more about hunting its prey.
But we'll see.
Excellent.
Which one is it? There we go. Okay, so
Hit us,
progress is
Luke.
going great.
Finished.
That's it. It's something I'm actively working on, and we've had multiple reviews to decide which stats I'm actually going to be able to play with. Because one thing we don't want to do is ruin the game, like make it unbearable, you know, by just...
I love that Zach has a hood.
making things worse. So there's lots of things we're doing to like improve things as well.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard for me
Well,
not
you
to
look
say
so
something.
skeptical.
I'm going to bed.
I had something so snarky I wanted to say right there, but you
Okay.
go ahead. You mean?
Like design-wise, I think we're like 90% there. I've just got to pitch some of the non-systemic perks. You know, the perks you get for wearing a full suit of armor and stuff. Because we've got most of our the perks are actually quite systemic. So the stealth suit, actually each piece like blocks the emissions of your body and stuff. So like you have to have the full thing, and then suddenly you're stealthy. But you know the perks where you have to make something up, like I don't know. I'll give like being able to.
Well, if you, like, let's say if you have a full stealth suit, right, you might get like a massive bonus to hiding your emissions.
Yeah.
Like as an example, something that makes sense within the context of the armor.
Or like the
More
temperature.
than the sum of its parts.
Yeah.
You can literally... Actually, funny thing. They introduced this way back in the day. Like, back in the day.
Hello.
CitizenCon 2019, where they first talked about this, and they introduced the idea that
itself. So if you think of like your car and you're driving around and you've got the heater on, it's keeping you nice and warm.
this is Mr. Rich before he was in charge of everything.
Within the operating window of that apparent temperature that your car is, then great, it would be fine. But then if you broke down, then basically the apparent temperature of outside would start to equalize with the temperature on the inside, and you start to get cold. And over time, that temperature would be equalized. And that's basically how a sealed armor would work. So as I touched on when we have armor in terms of that it's powered, essentially if you're outside of its operating window, well, from what it's been designed, what the manufacturer has chosen to design it for, then it will start to fail. And that's when that room system inside will start to equalize. And so when you have a sealed suit, it kind of...
So this was the first big thing. This is actually their introduced heat and stuff first. It's the first time we saw the Novagov suit. And it was really the first time they went into detail about all the stuff they're really getting into today in this Star Citizen Live. 7 years ago, pretty sure it's still pretty consistent with what they're saying here.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like, it's the more gimmicky things I'll say. I don't really want to go into it because I'm not pitched them. But right. So our main aims with the armory factor are to give players reason to wear flight suits, light, medium, and heavy armors. Give players reasons to wear the combat versus utility armors, because that's been a big distinction now, the two of those. To give players a reason to change armors based on their intent, and that's for specializations we were talking about in SitCon 2 years ago. So I'll go into some of those later. And then give individual armor pieces a purpose, so that arms aren't just useless cosmetics and stuff. Each piece of the armor has stats with it that you don't get with the others.
My arms are useless cosmetics.
So, for me, and I think for you as well, the most important things is nailing those weight classes.
Yeah,
the feel of those weight classes.
It's very much so. Like last time I heard, it's about the legs, and you get mass reduction, right? So if you have heavy legs on, then your overall mass gets reduced because it's easier to walk and things like that. So it's like you don't just become instantly a tank because you've got the thing on. It's like, cool, I've got these legs. I don't want to be weighed down too much. I want to be able to move faster, still my heavy, but that'll have other offsets, obviously.
Almost like a exo suit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just for support that it gives. Right now we have this funny situation where if you were wearing entirely heavy armor, you had a full backpack on, all the attachments, and then you took your leg armor off and you just had naked legs. I mean, in real life, you'd crumple under that weight. But in the game now, you are faster because you weigh less.
Yeah.
and that's obviously something we want to get rid of. So
will we crumple?
Focusing on that, like the way we're going to make lights versus mediums versus heavies and flight suits, like very different, and actually a choice you make is there's damage mitigation. We're going to up the damage mitigation on mediums and heavies to give you a higher TTK.
Beyond what they are right now.
Beyond where they are now, yeah.
Which gets obviously offset with crafting and the improvements that come with weapons. So.
Yeah, so me and Dec, who was on crafting, are in this interesting situation where obviously you only have between 0 and 100 to play with, and we're having to like meter out and share the percentages we can go up. Yeah. So I can go up to this, and then crafting will take you up to this. So yeah, that's an interesting thing to have to take into account.
You can build better weapons, and you have to be able to build better armor.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing. It's a constant arms race, yeah.
Or you just hit with a
or a legs race.
The combat crosshair, which is it's going to primarily be on combat suits and helmets. So like not everyone is getting that anymore, which is kind of the way it's done right now until we figured out. Flip the page. The ability to have your MFDs cast to the visor, which I think everyone has right now when they sit in the ship, that's going to be for flight-specific helmets.
What about mining?
Ship handling as well will be impacted by wearing medium or heavy armors. So that means that
Salvage should tell me where to put breaching charges. Mining should tell me where to place gadgets. It should automatically scan minerals. Like, I definitely want to see a lot of this kind of stuff put into armor.
Your inputs are slower, so if you make a hard turn, it will take it slower if you've got medium and heavy armor on.
G-force resistance.
And G-force as well will be lower in those suits, so you'll pass out quicker. We're also increasing the G-force tolerance in things like the combat and racing flight suits, so it's not all just a negative. FPS radar, when that comes, that's going to make a huge difference. It's between the weight classes for a start, because bigger things, they're noisier. You'll hear them on your passive radar.
A good example is combat helmets are seen as the default right now because they're the main archetype that we have online, but that will make more noises and emissions. So you'll get less feedback, but then you'll obviously be quiet and less picked up by radar and scanning and things like that.
Yeah, if you wear lights, like you'll all have the same strength radar, but being light gives you the ability to get so many meters closer before you're picked up.
Man, that'd be interesting if the passive noise that your armor makes just as it's running is enough to differentiate on a obviously not your ears, but your suit's ability to pick up the audio waves. Hey man, sorry to hear Hawks is having a tough one right now. Johnny Macaroni, thank you for the Prime sub. Appreciate you, buddy. 17 months. And Commander Tanith with the Prime sub as well. Already gifting them out yourself. Appreciate you, dude. Just seen that you can CC you to a Connie Phoenix Emerald. I guess it is confirmed then. Somebody was asking about that earlier. Hey, Bookman, how you doing? Love all the changes except for one thing. Let us put gear on ships and not get wiped when the ship bugs out. Yeah, well, item recovery and ship insurance, we need it.
And we keep alluding to this, but I'd say the most important feature is the mass mitigation, and that affects the weight affecting the player. Like you'll weigh more, obviously, the whole thing together weighs more, but if you have like heavy arms and then a heavy core and heavy legs, and then you've got a railgun in your arms, right? That'll be fully supported, no added weight to the player. But then if you start taking pieces off or making them like a lesser weight, that will start, like the percentage that those arms can take will get less and less. Like, if you take your legs off, like it doesn't matter what your arms can lift because your legs are still taking the weight of that thing completely.
It's very nitty gritty this obviously, but we still do have like high level archetypes as well. So like things like having like medic armor and things like that are
this is
in the weeds, but we also do have the high level ideas of like different combat armors, different like we have the scanning armor and things like that. What's it called, the hunter armor and things like that, which obviously we're like way better at scanning and things like that. So there's some like very high level, easy to understand stuff, and then you have this stuff which is down in like the nitty gritty weeds of it.
Like
reducing the amount of times you're going to see somebody in a hospital gown carrying around a railgun.
Exactly.
So if you want to be able to keep a railgun up and on your shoulder and use it, you're going to need to actually increase the mass of your armor in order to have that benefit, the support system to you, so make it possible for you to carry it.
Yeah. And finally, this is finally on
this
this
is
point.
not finally, by the way.
No.
You have and finally written in here 3 times.
Yep.
Luke, this is not and finally.
This is
not and finally.
And finally on the weight class, right? Because this is what we're talking about. Weight classes, they span all of these architect types and that. Like,
there are 3 finalies, dude.
Have a heavy medic, maybe. So EVA, controversial maybe. EVA will be removed from undersuits as it is now. So everybody having it, and put on some but not all flight suits and cores.
Boy.
And
I think that one's going to piss some people off for sure.
Be introducing an EVA backpack for those who don't have EVA built into the suit, or if you do have EVA built into your suit and you just want more fuel and more oxygen, you can also put that on as well.
It's a lot of. You're basically adding a whole lot of choice, basically a whole lot of tactical decisions between what you wear. It's not just
choice
and consequence. Just going to be about rule of cool. You have to understand the situation that you're going into and the best loadout for that situation. Not just bringing the right weapons, but
thinking.
If you know you're going into fight that you're Mondi, you might want to bring people with more medic suits, for example, because you're going to have to heal each other more and things like that.
I'm going to get so screwed by things like this.
If you don't have EVA, you just bring your fire extinguisher, right?
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
There's also 0G push and pull. Where's that, guys?
So that's weight classes. There's a difference between combat and utility. That's a big difference. And that's mainly down to mass
The Authy Club coming in with the raid. Welcome in, everybody. Cheer, kids. You guys deserve it. Thank you, everybody. Welcome in. Thanks for the raid, Authentic Young. Hope y'all had a good stream for yourselves today. You're coming into something maybe a little bit less exciting than what you were potentially doing. We're talking and listening to other people talk, but it's kind of fun. And we got a giveaway going on if you want to potentially win something in the meantime. What were you all up to? Oh, playing Star Citizen. Wow, fancy catching y'all here. What did how's the game running? Were you doing PTU or live? Were you living it up or dying? Was it a me kind of gameplay? What's up, Star 6? So Nostra Hockett. Welcome in, guys. Welcome. Red Waters. That's a name I haven't seen in a little while. Welcome in. Listening is fun. You were in live. Live I hear is a bit rough these days. Who cares who it pisses off? These are the things that add depth and variety and choice to your game. I mean, I care. Personally, I love the data. All right, I'm not looking. I like reporting on how these things are affecting the player base and how people feel about the game because it's super interesting to me. How do you have a game that hasn't been completed for 14 years of development, man? And there's this many people still following it and thinking about what it's doing. It's like, I can't believe people aren't running more studies on us, to be honest. Colt, dude, thank you for the subs, man. I see you. All right, cross your fingers. No scratching of the board this time. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming in. This is your captain speaking. Tomato will be with you shortly. Thank you, Colt. Appreciate you, dude. We were salvaging in the Moth. Pretty cool when it works. It is cool. And it sounds like 4.7 is going to have some really good salvage updates. More grabbing components. They're putting more ships out there to actually be salvageable. It's, honestly, 4.7 sounding good. Wait, are you kidding me, dude? The kids are cheering, man. The people are celebrating. Anime Girl said, wow. Carolinger with the raid as well. Folks. What did we do to deserve 2 freaking raids this afternoon? Thank you. I hope you guys had a lovely stream as well. I hope we've all had lovely streams today. Once again, kids, there we go. Yay, streams. Thank you. Thank you for the raid. Welcome in, folks. Like I was saying to everybody else who just came, we're just talking, having a good time, kicking back, learning more about the future of Star Citizen's FPS gameplay. we got a giveaway going on if you want to get into it. Exclamation point giveaway. We'll make the link pop up. And you can get yourself an Atlas. Little pew, 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 pew. It's a little mech. Those pews were tractor beams, though. It's not a gun. It doesn't hold guns. But you can tractor beam stuff. More importantly, you get a copy of Star Citizen, which is kind of cool. So if you'd like to get into that, do so. Because, you know, it's completely free. And if you just want to get more info, I'm trying to go through today's Star Citizen Live with more context as to what the heck they're talking about, where it's leading, why the game's going in that direction, and also making dumb, embarrassing jokes here and there along the way. Thanks you all for joining me. Hope you enjoy the stream. Let's get back into it.
Which you'll have more of on the utility. That will mean that like combat armors are lighter to start with, right? But the moment you start loading them up, they get slower. Whereas utility armors start heavier, and then the more you load them up, the more they can take. So you kind of keep the speed you're running at with those.
Okay.
Whereas if you streamline yourself in combat, you know, you'll always be faster. And also...
Does that mean I like slick my hair back, shave my legs, and I'll just have the best sprint speed in Star Citizen? I want leg shaving gameplay. Star Razors. Write it down, Chris.
Different types of utility armor then.
Yeah, there's loads. Yeah. Which I will jump to now then. Right. Flight suits. We've got racing flight suits, amazing G-force resistance, really good environmental resistances. So if you're racing in a car on all kinds of planets, you'll be fine.
And I hear that's the flight suits getting their G-force resistance is not necessarily a far away thing.
No, I think Yoga's working on it very soon.
Yeah.
But they have no radar.
Somebody asked if I think Starware is coming this year. Just to confirm for you, I do. And that's mainly based around this most recent monthly report, which we covered on the channel just in the last couple days. Here they said that they are polishing assets and working through art debt on Starware. I've heard some people say that this sounds like the sort of thing that means it's far away. I think this is the sort of thing that means it's close by. If they're working on art debt, in my opinion, that means that design work is pretty much wrapped up, which we just heard Luke Presley practically say. And they're just trying to update all of the assets so they can release along with Starware. Interestingly enough, one of the assets that just got updated art-wise is indeed one of the old armors, a light combat armor. So these could literally be the art debt updates they're doing in preparation for Starware. Not saying this is like a 4.7 branch or even a 4.8 branch thing, but as he's saying here, Yogi is working already on working in the stats from Starware. Luke Presley said he's working on the design work, and he's 90% done with the design work on the actual ability to apply these things. And I don't think that was on Chris's letter, but it definitely this is feeling more like a this year kind of thing. Thank you for the congrats for the upcoming baby. We got a little baby boy coming. We just announced recently, and expected later this year. Potentially, he will arrive holding a copy of Squadron 42. We'll see. Saw your video with the cues. Good stuff. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the podcast. We have been expanding it a little bit more, and I'm going to start bringing in more guests from outside the community, more new guests to the Star Citizen community, getting more stuff than just news in the weekly podcast. And then we're kicking up Citizen Central again, so it's going back to monthly. It seems like people were enjoying that recently. Thank you for the congratulations, guys. Appreciate you. Alrighty, shall we? Back to the good stuff.
He's working on it very soon.
Yeah.
But they have no radar. They're like super stripped down, no EVA, and really poor damage mitigation because they're basically just kind of levers. Combat flight suits, which do have EVA, they have better damage mitigation, bigger inventory, but slightly reduced G-force and poor environmental resistances because they're made for space, right? Then you've got the combat armors, You've got the assault armors, which make up the majority of our armors right now. Like, you know,
If you want to put new stuff out, you just got to have a crosshair at the minute, otherwise it doesn't feel as impactful. But obviously that'll be revisited when we get more archetypes.
yeah, it's
Again,
definitely our biggest
2024.
section of armors we currently have. And these are the pure combat armors. We've got the best at absorbing damage, good radar for fighting humans, and but they lack EVA.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Anything with a emission of kind of IR and EM.
Oh yeah.
But it's not resource. They do not have resources, so you're not going to be finding minables with those. Stealth armors, again, we've talked about. They reduce emissions and sounds. What you read in the red pen.
I'm seeing how much is left.
See, I think I can find stealth armor here somewhere.
The hunter armors we've talked about is the only combat armor to have EVA, and it has an amazing radar for finding people.
It's the hunter armor.
They'll see you coming more though, and it has less.
Here's
damage
the stealth
mitigation.
armor.
Utility armors. Right, I'm going to actually breeze through these because I don't want to spend too long actually. Right, medical can scan health. No, so when you do a scan, it will show you the health of people around you and various other things, and it can locate downed players from much further away. Like
that's nice, dude.
That's it.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah, so if you do a scan, you're going to pick up the now.
Actual freaking rolls, dude. Yes. Yes. And it's tied to armor. It's what we wanted. Feels good. Now just put it in the game. I love to hear it, dude. This is what brought me into Battlefield. It's why I loved Battlefield. It was like a lighter version of this. Being able to be the person that you knew could go into the battle and you could change the battle because you were the medic. It's already kind of there in Star Citizen. You could definitely change a PvP battle if you're the medic. But when you have the ability to scan things other people can't scan and find things other people can't find, then it counts to have that suit of armor in your ship. It counts to have that suit locker. It counts to have that certain type of ship. It counts to do things. That's all I've wanted to see from this, man. This is really good to hear.
And that's its thing.
So if you have medic armor.
Yeah, so if you do a scan, you're going to pick up the down players that you wouldn't normally pick up just by IR and EM. Yeah, there's engineers, and they can reveal the positions and health of components. No, just this one. And resource specialists, these are like the salvagers and miners. We have an amazing resource radar. And hopefully we'll reveal details about minables that you would otherwise have to go up to and scan, like from a distance.
So you can be on the surface or whatever, scan, send your ping out and see the things. You don't have to go to it to find out.
I'd say it's more for it being in caves where there's that kind of distance. It's still a distance to go, but if you scan and then focus on a rock that is 50 meters away, you might get some more information than that otherwise you would have to. Yep. And then you've got the Explorer, which is like the jack of all trades. It's got kind of good utility. It's got the crosshair. It's got good environmental resistances, and it can scan resources. Its damage resistance is fine, but it's not combat armor. And then you've got all the other kind of very specialist things. You've got EVA, heat, cold, and radiation, and they hopefully speak for themselves.
So they're going to categorize all the armors.
Thank you for everyone who's still here.
This actually goes back to, let me look up one of the videos you were watching in 2019. This one. You can see they were already starting to make these categories. This is what it looked like in 2019. Whenever somebody says Star Citizen has a lot of combat gameplay because combat's all they've had, this panel sums it up. At 2019, the only ideas they had for types of combat or types of armor were combat and utilitarian. And utilitarian was like one combat. I think this is the TCS4 maybe, or the True Def. And then that's it. It just didn't exist. We didn't have salvage at that time. We had barely gotten mining. Cargo hauling and stuff with the tractor beam wasn't a thing. It's just now started to become a thing. But this is the categories back then. Now Luke is laying down what the categories are now. It's a lot better.
No, I really I appreciate this, Luke. It's
a huge spreadsheet. It took me forever.
Yeah. I like it, dude. Thank you.
How is obviously we've been talking about some aspects of what you've been talking about, which you just talked about. We've been talking about for 2 years now.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you want to give like a general progress? I'm not saying a win. Don't answer a win question.
Like I say, I think like 90% of it's done, and maybe even more. You know, I've got a few more things to clear when it comes to those perks. You know, the things that make them stand out.
10% of the work, 90% of the
a little
time.
gimmicky, right? All this that I've talked about is signed off, right? Once I've got those perks sorted, it's just off to code to do estimates, and then we see where it fits.
Okay. So still in the design phase.
Still in the design phase. I've run this all by code, and they like have ballparked it, but
okay.
I think it could be an end of this year. Still be a this year thing, but that definitely pours a little bit of cold water on it that they still have to get to coding. What I've realized though, over the last maybe year or two of monthly reports, is that actually a lot of the stuff that they release for quarters doesn't get a lot of work done until like the last 3 months before it comes out. And you can actually tell that by looking at the preview channel versus the release we're getting. The preview channel UI we got for crafting is so much different from this. You can see a lot of work went into it over that last month or two. Yeah, they still have 9 months. We'll see.
Sam, how has the new focus on dungeon-style content, we call them operations, but the question says dungeon-style content, changed design goals for FPS gameplay?
So the quick answer is they haven't, really. We've changed what content we are trying to make currently, because before we started making the dungeons, we didn't really have any. And we've been taking a lot of time to try and start constructing these more defined locations where we want to take players through an experience. But that doesn't mean that we're going to stop making any of the other sort of more contested zones, PvP-oriented areas. That's still very much a thing that we're focused on. It's just we're trying to counteract the amount of content that is just general outposts versus defined experiences. We want to basically go from where previously we made locations to show off features to just making locations that make use of features, or just cool locations. Because I wanted to make a big ring station that you can ride a gondola around, so I did it, and that's coming out this month.
It's so sick.
It's freaking sick. The rock cracker station's really cool. It's cooler than I thought it was going to be.
Let's talk a little bit about rock cracker. It's a little off the topic here. Folks who are in PTU, are seeing that there's essentially at this moment there are 3 kind of different versions of these breaker stations.
Yeah.
There's ones that don't currently have a rock in them, and those will be for a variety of sandbox missions that actually come online about 2 weeks after 4.7 releases.
Okay. We ran into a few of those, and it was always confusing.
So 4.7 will release hopefully towards the end of this month, and then about 2 weeks later there'll be another content drop that releases an entirely new suite of mission content that will utilize these 3rd versions of breaker stations. I realize I'm starting on 3.
Yeah.
But then there are 2 versions of the breaker stations that have these giant, enormous rocks in the center, and one is more like a contested zone kind of thing. It's like players have seen with Line of Mine and Stormbreaker and stuff. It is, you get the mission and everybody has these locations. They're on your star maps. You go and it's
the contested ones aren't on your star maps.
The contested ones aren't on the star maps.
No. So the way they work is that we have multiple instances, basically. Not instances.
Yeah, you can't use that word yet.
Not instances in actual instance, but a version of the mission that's at a location. And so basically 5 groups of players can go to each one at a time, and we have multiple locations that they can go to, and the expectation is that you should be taken to one where someone else is, and you should fight for the stuff base.
So that's a bit more chaos in those ones. A bit more.
Don't say you should fight
for people who want to do PvP, and who don't want to spend.
Also, we can team up for the stuff.
The high price of entry for the exclusive ones.
And that brings us to the 3rd.
Right? Isn't that still part of it? I feel like it is still part of it to team up, right? That's still sort of a thought. I hope so. That's what I wanted to do. I was thinking to myself, man, we should. It'd be interesting to see how we could figure out how to team up with people.
Which are these exclusive ones?
Yes.
These ones are also not available on the star map. You have to earn the right to purchase the locations to these versions of the breaker stations, and those allow for only the people you share them with have it. So a true PvE experience at these places. So it's a neat evolution of what we were doing last year and learning the lessons we learned last year, and always trying something new and stuff like that. So these 3 different versions of these breaker stations that are coming in 4.7 are pretty exciting, and always trying something new. It's
definitely.
Yeah, with ASD, or with the Onyx facilities, we dropped roughly 600 of them, across plants. Always trying different things to see how to give something for everybody.
Yeah, we basically wanted to make sure that people who only want PvE should be able to get that, and people who want to fight for stuff can fight for stuff if they so desire.
How about people who don't want to fight for
there won't always be
anything?
a PvE version available.
Not always, but we've placed a decent amount of them.
Yeah. So, and those are kind of things we'll continue to tune throughout PTU and stuff like that. And it will continue to evolve as the game goes on.
The rewards also got better. I improved them today.
Oh, nice.
That's good. Yeah, they need to be improved.
Not specifically. Go find it.
Okay.
We just found Torite inside, and it did not seem like it was enough to validate the effort.
This question.
Is this the doozy?
Well, I don't know what you think is a doozy.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this question has come up on and off every year since it was first introduced as a concept back in 2013 when Shroud of the Avatar came online.
Oh, the crossbow.
Right.
Lurch Lord.
2013, 2014.
Lurch Lord, are you in the chat, dude? Holy crap, if he's not in the chat, I'm going to lose it. Oh my God.
I can't remember. Back with Richard Gary and Portalarium and stuff.
Too long.
This question is simply, how is the crossbow coming along?
Okay, so this was the first year that I got to basically plan out all the weapons, and the first one on the list, obviously, that always gets mentioned is the crossbow. So I can confirm that the crossbow is coming this year. The main reason I think that we got that crossbow was because Rich is an original Shroud of the Avatar backer, so he is very interested in getting his skin. So yes, crossbow this year. But
and Rich is basically in charge.
Other cool weapons.
Okay, that's not true. He's not in charge, but he's basically running the day-to-day, so he gets to make a call on that now. So here is the last time this was talked about. This was 2024. A lot of stuff got talked about in 2024, guys. Just saying. Coincidence?
Before we move off the crossbow, it's not just going to be available to the folks who pledge for whatever level of Shroud of the Avatar. There are versions of it going into loot. For everybody.
Believe they get a specific skin if they were Shroud of the Avatar.
Yes. But the crossbow, a weapon this cool, is going to be made available to everybody who plays Star Citizen today, either through loot or through a bundle or whatever, or if you did pledge at those specific Shroud of the Avatar levels, that specific a skin. And the process of how you claim those will be made available to you when it comes time to add it to the game.
Yep. So cooler than the new guns. There is one with space blanking, like we said, space AK.
Are you just gonna move on to other new weapons?
Yeah.
Sure, go ahead.
Crossbow's a crossbow.
No, talk us about
space gun.
Yeah, there's space blank, which is space kind of based on a real gun sort of thing that people really like. We got loads of people like the space AK. We've got a lever action rifle. We've got
a freaking lever action rifle, dude. You crazy people. So we could probably find a couple of the guns they're talking about in this video, because there were a few models that we haven't seen yet. We got a couple on this screen here. This is his team. This is the same team Zach is on. So they were showing off some of the weapon stuff they were working on. Obviously, there are some melee weapons coming along, but I think melee gameplay has not moved along enough to validate getting those. This is a gun that we saw, and I don't think it came out yet. Can't tell who it might be made by. It does have some kind of lightning company looks to it with this sort of detail right here, but it looks like an LMG of some sort. Couldn't possibly say whether or not it's actually something that's coming to the game or if it's something they're talking about, but I'm just showing you the stuff that I've seen. And you can... Ooh! You know what it could be? Space blank. Maybe space taser? They haven't said anything about non-lethal gameplay yet, though, so that might be too hopeful. I think no point in looking through this for anything else. Yeah, I don't know what else it could be. Because the Space AK was like the big reveal in this video. Jesus. This is just a cleaver. Who knows? We'll see what it could be. I think it could be a taser. That'd be an interesting one.
You're adding more space versions of existing weapons.
Yes.
Okay, so like you did with the Space AK.
Correct.
There's going to be a space something or other.
Yeah.
You don't want to reveal right now.
No, because it's very cool and it's something that people mention a lot, and I think it's it's fun to find out. But just a little tease.
Like Space Godzilla.
Yeah, Space Godzilla, exactly.
Space flamethrower.
A real thing.
Yeah.
Space Godzilla's a real thing.
Medgun pistol. I'm very excited.
Sorry.
Medgun pistol. We have a bullpup rifle.
Shoot your enemies.
You're glossing over this stuff. This is a med gun that...
I want to leave it at that. I want to say the name of it, and then as it comes out, you'll see like, okay,
All right, so you're being intentionally...
Holy shit. I bet that's like some kind of ridiculous thing where somebody managed to get regen fluid or whatever it's called, medical juice, into like a cartridge, and you could just shoot it at somebody using a repurposed pistol from the game somewhere. I think that's in Battlefield 5 or 2042, where you can shoot people to heal them from further away.
Yeah, basically.
All right, send your letters to Zach Reese, 6 Manchester Goods Yard.
Yeah.
All right, so med gun pistol.
Medgun pistol, bullpup rifle, lever action rifle, and some more cool stuff
action rifle
later on.
Oh, he's just having the piss now, dude. Lever action rifle in 2955.
So that's some cool stuff that's coming this year. And well, sorry, let me be clear. Our intention is that those things come this year.
Stim pistols and Helldivers.
And yeah, there's some other stuff that's not just it. Like we also spoke about, we've said, we want an area denial grenade. We know that gadgets and utility are big requests and things like that. But those are the things that we want to tease now. There's more than that. As we delivered a lot of weapons last year, we want to also deliver a lot of weapon content this year as well.
That's fantastic, because now we don't have any videos to have already spoiled what those might be. So we should be getting some good surprises this year in this area.
Just casually drop. There's going to be a lever action, a 30th century lever action. Right.
Oh, the plan is that it's gonna have evolving geo as well. You switch the fire modes and stuff like that. So leaning into like taking it, making it really cool and sci-fi.
I bet it's gonna be from who makes the Demico? The Demico and the Lumen. Whoever makes that, I feel like would make a solid lever action rifle.
Is for this to come. All these ones that you mentioned. Intention. We all know how game development works, but the intention is for all of these to arrive this year.
Yes, and some more other cool stuff we planned out this year in terms of like looking how much we delivered last year. What can we deliver this year that is exciting and is really fun?
Okay. He actually printed up some pictures.
Look, I wanted
a Klaus
to do it. I had some pictures printed out here.
Lever action rifle.
Which one do you want to know about, chat?
Right.
And then
you do have the close-up.
I'll let you. Yeah.
Okay.
Give me one you want to show.
Okay.
Just give me one you want to show.
There's a really dumb. You know what the top one is, but this is a hint.
No, over here because we got the close-up.
Okay.
Come here, bring it to me. Don't drop your microphone.
I won't. There you are. So there's a hint on the bottom of what it is.
A hint.
Yeah.
This is the picture. Go to the close-up. Go ahead. Let's see if it works. Okay. This is what he this is what he brought. So this is I'm assuming a space lever action.
Space lever action.
And some railroad tracks.
And you'll have to figure out what that one is.
Mixed tracks. Track spaghetti. Track pile. Tracked shotgun? Is it a shotgun with treads? Does it somehow transport itself? What planet is he looking at? Okay, he's looking at Bloom, so it's going to be pirate related, kind of like the Space AK. God, I have no idea what the heck to guess. Rails? Railgun? Shotgun railgun? Lever action railgun? Dude, a lever action railgun would be insane. Not bad though, guys. I'm sitting here trying to freaking come up with some kind of.
No, come back.
Oh, you want me to pick it up? Oh no, don't.
No, just go sit down.
Okay. Jared, no.
Sit down. In Saint 666
someone
says
got
dumbest thing ever.
Someone got it.
Mom? Okay.
And that one is stocked, not shouldered as well.
Oh, well, that gives it away.
Yeah, chat Chat, you got it.
How did they get it?
That's actually really cool, dude.
You know what?
We are not subtle.
Geniuses.
I can't believe that my puzzle was horrifically obvious.
It was, yeah, I'm just dumb because I did not get that as fast.
Speaking about a MedPen gun.
One of my favorite railguns of all time.
Can we have the MedPen automatically switch back?
I'm sure nobody would have guessed that this was my favorite railgun in an FPS game, but I really like a good underslung rifle-style railgun like this. That should be fun.
To the gun after being injected, like it already happens in Arena Commander.
Yes, that's one of the options that we do want to add.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next week or?
Sooner than you hope, but further than you'd expect.
Good.
God, sometimes I say things that get me in trouble. Sometimes I say things that I want to say things that would really get me in trouble. Let's see. Any progress on FPS item wear and tear, like armor tear or weapon misfire?
Yes. So in terms of weapon malfunctions and weapon overheating, every single weapon has that in Squadron at the minute. So every single weapon jams, every single weapon, well, the weapons that can overheat do overheat. That is fully implemented in Squadron 42, and it will be coming to the PU in the future.
Okay.
Wait, that was just a question about weapons overheating, right?
So,
item wear and tear, like armor tear or weapon misfire?
Okay. Yes. So in terms of weapon malfunctions and weapon overheating, every single weapon has that in Squadron at the minute. So every single weapon jams, every single weapon, well, the weapons that can overheat do overheat. That is fully implemented in Squadron 42, and it will be coming to the PU in the future.
Okay.
So we also have something on that. That's actually a 2023 kind of thing, but they definitely covered it in this same section. We talked about weapon wear and tear. This includes both cosmetic wear and tear, but it also means that your weapons will start to break down and stop working. This is because eventually you have to lose stuff, or else what's the point of crafting?
I warned one in the big window. And you can see the visual effects. It's belching out smoke here because it's very worn, right? It's telling you, you know, it's time to get this one changed. And you should be able to hear the audio as well. It's get growlier. Okay, on to some consequences. So it's not all visual, so we're going to stop with misfire. So the first thing that's going to happen is you press the trigger, your gun doesn't fire. The second thing that happens in this video, you got...
Personally, I hate the idea of smashing a key on the keyboard over and over, but I do like the idea of taking care of my stuff. It's something that I always like in series like Metro, and even, I don't know, like Elder Scrolls does this kind of thing.
I hope you guys know what's happening. So he goes, and then it goes click. That's the bullet getting lodged in the chamber, right? So we've got to fix it. So it's telling us to fix it. We're hitting the button, our enemies fire.
So this is gameplay focused wear, but there's also the cosmetic wear that we've been hearing about for a long time.
Simulation of dirt accumulating over time on the same rifles we saw before. But in the actual game, this would be based on your activities and the environment you're in. So if you're running around in a sandstorm, you're rolling in mud, you leave your gun outside proper storage, it's going to accumulate dirt, and that's going to increase the rate at which it wears. So,
and this happens for armor and ships too.
Faster it will wear out.
It's going to be a pretty...
This is true for other biome accumulations, like frost.
Other biomes.
So let's take a look at this one.
It gets much deeper than you think it's going to. For a space sim, you know, that a lot of people would assume it's about the spaceships, there's a lot planned for the FPS side of this, and I think that's what attracts a lot of people to this game that wouldn't normally take on MMOs. Is like, they're doing the sort of things that people like to see in FPS games, and FPS gameplay is important for that. Not just combat. It gets to logistics and strategy and taking care of your inventory and all that kind of stuff. It's there's something nice to it, even if you're just going out, running a quest, and then grabbing some stuff and going home.
I'm gonna guess this is you, Sam. Would it be possible to climb more stuff?
Yeah, basically.
Oh, there's more to this, like SU boxes, ramps, and elevators.
Yeah, it's all
I
the
thought
fun
this person just likes to go into the soft play.
It's we want to climb everything.
Is it possible to climb more stuff?
Yes, essentially. A lot of older content still probably won't be able to climb as much, but as we have a much larger level design team now, we are able to make more stuff climbable and also design stuff that's more traversal oriented.
Automated tools got a lot better as well.
That's also
automated cover generation is now a thing. So level designers don't have to go and manually place a couple points as well.
That was
also
also
very nice.
Yeah. Still have to double check it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know. Don't turn
That's
it all
part
over
of
to the machine like Amazon did.
Yeah, exactly.
That's part of Genesis. If I'm not mistaken, where was it that they did the whole Genesis talk? Was that? I think that was 23. Nope, it was 24. Dang it.
Visual.
This part. Yeah, this was what he was talking
First
about
of all,
here, right?
wasteful and on the memory side and time consuming. And also because we have a lot of runtime modification of the terrain, this would require us to still reparse it at runtime. And pretty much that will be almost all the time. So to generate the cover data, we want to leverage the navigation mesh system. And what we do is, as you see here, the blue polygons are basically where NPCs can walk, and the green ones are what we call cover surfaces that represent simple.
I don't think that the AI are really following this all that well at this point. But this was something they talked about at the same CitizenCon 2024. A lot of stuff that's coming out around this time, being talked about around this time, is starting to show its face. But this was all based around the idea that NPCs are going to need to generate cover emergently if they're going to deal with all these ridiculous amounts of POIs that they're putting on the planets, including the planets themselves. I don't know if that's what he's talking about here. He could be talking about in POIs as opposed to the Genesis side of it, which would be NPCs walking around planets. But emergent cover generation has been something that they have not been able to do before. So I'm glad to hear they've got it working here now.
And stuff that's more traversal oriented.
Automated tools got a lot better as well.
That's also
automated cover generation is now a thing. So level designers don't have to go and manually place a couple of points as well.
That was also
very nice.
Yeah. Still have to double check it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know. Don't turn it all over to the machine like Amazon did.
Yeah, exactly.
What is the status on swimming?
Fully implemented in Squadron 42, will be coming to the PU in the future.
Okay.
Love that answer. Just write that down on most of the answers that we get.
Yeah.
We've said fully implemented in Squadron 42 a couple times.
Yes.
How different is FPS in Squadron? Yes, he's going for the paper.
Going for the paper. Rich said, don't get in trouble. He's like, I'll allow you to
said
answer this
fully
one
implemented in
if you're not
Squadron
gonna get in
42.
trouble.
When is that coming out?
Now I've got to find it.
Challenge impossible.
So
God.
The question is, I'll cover for him while he searches for his paper. How different is FPS in Squadron 42 compared to Star Citizen, and what lessons from polishing there can we expect to come to Star Citizen?
I want to hear this question for the flight model.
So there has basically been a lot of work on the player character. So from minor things in terms of like how actions automate into each other. So so we have something called the sprint toggle now, which is the default, which essentially means like if I'm sprinting and I shoot, I have sprint to fire, so I don't start shooting when I'm down here. It comes back up, it's natural, it feels good. Even the new sprint pose, which is like up here, which includes like head bump. All of these things massively improve the experience that you get to, as you play the games. Like previously when we were doing in 2023, when we showed off all the FPS improvements at SitCon, where you think like backpack reloading, you think like ammo repooling and things like that. We're writing on these things in Squadron and obviously polishing them up for the release. And all the things that we are working on in Squadron will come to the PU in future. The action matrix is the biggest one. We've got like sprinting while reloading. We've really been spending a lot of time dialing in that FPS experience and making it feel really polished. And even like sprinting now, like it's a really big thing for me because the gun goes down here, it goes off screen, you can't see it. When it's up here and you feel like you're running and things like that, it just feels.
They're gonna. Dude, Reddit is going to have a freaking party on this one. Oh God, that is of all the things that people are like, they're bringing COD to start. That feels very COD. I always thought that was funny when they introduced that into that game series. Maybe it sounds interesting for certain game or certain gun sizes.
A lot more polished. It's very nice. It's the FPS experience basically has been dialed in a lot more. There is a bunch of stuff which escapes the top of my head right now. But
you have your notes.
You know, I accidentally deleted.
I am glad to hear that Squadron 42 feels a lot different from Star Citizen, because if it didn't, then that would mean it was a bad game. Sorry to say. I have a lot of fun in Star Citizen. I think they're doing great stuff. But if you ask me how good the FPS experience is right now, it is not good enough to be a AAA FPS release. There's got to be a lot of polish on it. A lot more inertia, a lot more, for lack of a better term, vibes.
Oh, you want to come over here?
Yeah, go on.
Come over here.
Go on.
Yeah,
because this was one I had to ask Rich for very nicely.
There you go. Go ahead.
Thank you I get to sit in the chair.
Yeah, go sit in the chair.
Perfect.
You've been good. You've been good today.
There you go. So yeah, as we said, with movement accelerations, melee improvements, that's a big one. So hey, you're not randomly going to go in front of you anymore. It's, you know, there's nicer animations there. How it follows up feels better. Weapons having consistent slots. So for people who have to constantly switch around and do those things, I know it's very annoying, but that is now like, cool, I have weapon 1, I have weapon 2. They have consistent slots. Yeah, the
That's
action
good.
matrix. Oh yeah, for example, sprinting and med penning now, if you press sprint, you press your med pen button, your med pen, then you automatically go back to sprinting. So sprint toggle, beautiful. And yeah, my favorite one, weapon raise.
I actually don't know if I would like it better if after I med pen it immediately goes back to whatever I had equipped, or if it goes back to my next med pen. I don't really like going back to my next med pen. But it also might be disorienting to go back to the thing that I expected. I guess as long as it's consistent, doesn't matter. But I think I'd like to go back to my last item.
2.0. So as you know right now, if you go up to a surface, you do this. We now have a procedural back like that, and it's very, very
that's nice.
We've also moved the pushback point to the optic. So for people who want to aim over railings and shoot over railings, you can now do that.
God, yes,
yeah,
dude.
I mean, the FPS experience
God.
overall is far more smoother to play. FPS AI has basically been overhauled. Francesco Riccucci and Chris Roberts have been themselves very involved in that process as well. Chris has been very keen on making the AI experience in Squadron, so they've been working very closely together. Entirely new audio setup for guns.
Wait, who did he say?
Themselves very overhauled. Far more smoother to play. FPS AI has basically been overhauled. Francesco Riccucci and Chris Roberts have been themselves very involved in that process as well. Chris has been very keen on making the AI experience in Squadron, so they've been working very closely together. Entirely new audio setup for guns. The guns sound absolutely amazing.
I just want to confirm real quick. I think the guy who presented AI that we were just talking about
Interesting to see how the NPC are
yeah,
gonna...
this guy. Is this Francesco?
Soon.
So
Yeah.
I'm Francesco Riccucci.
He introduced to us all of
the
the
weapon much longer.
archetypes, right? And showed us this
And you
demo.
will see that at the right
And then I do believe that he also showed us the...
Own data.
Was he doing this one too? Is this him?
everybody. Benvenuti
Oh,
at CitizenCon.
You recognize the voice.
So-
okay. So clearly he is very, very heavily involved in
Where
AI.
are we today?
And he's
So
doing
my
the
name
AI on
is
Squadron.
us.
Did they not put his name on the screen? Oh, I guess it's right here. Okay. So yeah, he's been doing it consistently.
The audio work on them has been incredible. Not just the sound that you hear, but also the mixing. So that's basically how loud shots are, how they feel. So if someone's down the other hallway and they're firing, it sounds like they're down the hallway. And it is honestly gorgeous. And yeah, all of that is planned to come to the Persistent universe.
When?
Better than you.
Perfect.
He didn't even have his eye line right. He kept looking at himself on the screen.
How can I look at myself?
You gotta look at the camera like this, see? You gotta look down the camera like this. But he spent the entire time, he wasn't talking to you, he was talking to himself the whole time.
We've got a question in here. What?
No. Go back. Don't trip over stuff.
I'll try.
He's like, no, ain't nobody taking my job.
You kicked my cable out.
Oh, damn.
It's all right, talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, shit.
Can't get the job either kicking
I'll give you
cables,
a
Zach.
topic.
Okay.
No.
All good.
We are almost out of time. We can squeeze a couple more in these. Why is the boom tube dealing so much damage?
Okay, this is, Rich told me to be very careful with this one as well, but I actually do have this one written down. Because Rich said you can't say, oh, it's not. So why is the boom tube dealing so much damage? Well, basically, as we said, we're going to be looking at balance, we're going to be looking at damage and those things, especially with crafting coming more online, especially with armor coming more online, like you said, with the heavy armor, with the max resistance and things like that. But the hardest thing with the boom tube, obviously, is the diversity of vehicles in the game. The diversity of the health between a light fighter, a ground vehicle, a heavy vehicle is, you know, it's a complicated game, especially when you mix all those things together. But most importantly, this is something we're looking at. I've already come up with a couple of ideas that we want to do, like increasing the arming distance. Like there was a clip on Reddit recently where someone just shot it in a ship and the ship blew up because they were raiding on. But yeah, so it's something we're looking at and keeping an eye on.
If you didn't know how strong it is, this happened during the Daymar rally. That's a one-shot from the boom tube to take out a wolf. Thing is super powerful. It was also a really keen moment. That was exciting.
You know, if you take a boom tube into an encounter, you're sacrificing a weapon slot, you're sacrificing the ability to, you know, fight other people, fight other NPCs. So it's a heavy cost versus the reward you get for how slow the projectile is and how much spread it has.
We're also doing a bit of a refactor on the way explosions deal damage to actors, because right now an explosion deals 6 times the damage to the player because it hits their head, arms, legs, body. So you have to balance it weirdly, like so that one explosion would do like just 100 damage to that table, but to you would do 600 damage. So it's really hard to balance. So we're making it so that any explosion will do 100 damage to the player, divided by depends where it hits them, to how much damage they take, and it'll still just do 100 damage to
that pinky pain
an object.
Okay. Is med penning yourself in a down state still a planned feature?
Yes, that is still a planned feature, and the plan is to move it to the Adrena pen. So basically, if you get downed, you'll enter a down but not out state. That's also fully implemented in Squadron. But Squadron has expensive self-revive pens. It's obviously MMO, single-player game. But yes, so that is still planned. And let me just check my notes, see if there's any other caveats there. But
you'll be an Adrena pen for rezzing other players as well.
Yes, that's the other bit. You'll need the Adrena pen for other people. So you can crawl around on the floor, traditional down but not out.
These are good details.
What is impact force?
That again kind of hits on the medic gameplay, so I'd be interested in understanding how that goes. But being able to self-revive, just casually, just kind of casually mention that.
Traditional down but not out.
What is impact force in crafting?
Damage.
Is there anything planned to make something stronger than heavy armor?
Expensive self-revive pens implies an economy in Squadron. Well, you are part of a company, right? Not like a company in the middle, like I don't know what they call it, a battalion, a squadron. I guess you're part of Squadron 42. And so you probably have to work with the quartermaster based on what you need for each mission. There are other games that do it, like Splinter Cell did this, I think. It's that kind of thing where you get to decide what you start the mission with, and then that decision is based around the sort of points you have or whatever. I like that. That's pretty cool. As you rank up, you probably get better access to certain things. Do you want to use the Gladius? Do you want to use the Hornet? That sounds like a good time. Makes the gameplay different for everyone.
Yes.
Yep.
Super heavy.
And that is
Mech
not
suit.
just a new armor set either. That comes with a lot of restrictions, specific weapon classes, and things like that. So I think one of the things is you're not going to be able to heal yourself.
Yep, you're not going to be able to heal yourself. You're going to have a super heavy weapon.
Yeah.
But you can use other weapons. It will just be, why would you in this?
Ooh, I wonder if the mech suits... No, those are size 0 weapons, so it's probably something between those two.
Extremely restricted thing. It's all about, you need the support. Like, because while you're there and you've got the big gun, you're unstoppable. But the moment people start chipping away your health, if you can't pull out that pen and heal yourself, you need a teammate there, otherwise you can very quickly become vulnerable.
Like a medic archetype of some kind. That's
one of
crazy.
those,
That
the medic
pretty
has
much
to be more
does
than
it,
just a combat
for
medic,
today's
though.
show, guys. Thank you so much. I do want to address something in the chat here. A lot of questions in chat, right?
Don't hurt yourself, Jared.
About desync. There's probably no greater challenge that's affecting FPS combat and gameplay today than desync. The reason Luke, Zach, and Sam aren't talking about it today is because they're designers. They do not work in the network coding, the server infrastructure, any of the areas where desync rests. To that end, I'm going to go ahead and volunteer our own Chief Technology Officer, Benoit Beauséjour. And I'm doing this right now on the fly. He doesn't know about it. It's not a gag. I'm seriously doing it. So if it doesn't happen, you can blame me and not him.
Dude.
Benoit used to do these big, long posts on Spectrum where he'd walk through one major technical issue or another. I'm going to walk out of here and ask him to do that for desync. It's not a conversation that I think super works in conversation.
Okay. I thought he was about to call him. He's about to give us like a impromptu calling all day.
Like this. He's also one of the only people at the level to have the full overview and umbrella look at everything involved that contributes to it. So I'm going to ask him, and I'm going to go ahead and commit him and say yes right now. I still have one or two favors to call in.
Did he do it?
So I don't know when that's going to happen, but he's here. He lands here on Saturday. The first time I see him, I'm going to ask him to make this a priority and see if we can't get this going. Because I agree with you. I think it's an important thing. And I think the best way...
Wouldn't that be crazy if he had already done it? Because this only came out like, 5 hours ago?
for us to talk about it is probably in a detailed post where, people can reread and read the information and parse the information. So we'll see how successful I am at that. But my promise to you is that I'm going to try.
Thanks for trying, dude.
Benoit is a pretty good dude, so I imagine it'll happen. All right.
We appreciate you, Jared.
With that's Star Citizen Live. Thanks for watching. We've had a nice little streak of Star Citizen Live. This is either our 4th or our 5th episode in a row.
Come on,
next week we're back with an episode of Inside Star Citizen, looking at a bunch of the various content that's coming with Alpha 4.7, as stated, targeted for the end of this month. Available for PTU now. You can help us as always, getting into PTU and helping us test and beat on the pipes and make issue council reports and everything. Yeah, sorry. I'm realizing that I just signed Benoit up for a thing, and I'm just gonna. I'm already thinking about what I'm gonna have to say. Nobody say anything publicly until he hears it from me. Like I'm realizing he's now.
It's too late.
Going to see it on Reddit or something.
Yeah, like it's probably already reached him before he even got to this point. Jared.
There is 2 days before you're, I guess, 20
You needed to have this text message already written out.
Hold on.
Canada's a few days behind.
Hold on, we're gonna throw Hail Mary, guys.
At Benoit in the
He's
chat.
got to get out ahead of it.
Stay with me.
Is he gonna call him?
We're gonna try calling him right now.
Oh, he's gonna do it like dude. Yeah, that's definitely
what time is it in Canada?
a moment for pause. Let's see.
It's Montreal, right?
Yeah.
That's
Teams would like access to the camera.
5 hours behind. Oh wait, no, it's 4 I think right now because of the daylight savings.
Oh yeah. That'll be all right.
Let's see if he picks up. I'm not, it's not a gag. We're calling. We're going to try. Hi, Benoit. Can you hear me?
Oh,
hold on.
God.
I'm mute in case. Can you hear me now?
Don't put him on the camera.
Hi, we are live on Star Citizen Live right now.
Sweet. What's going on?
We just
I
did a
feel
show
like
about...
Benoit is one of the only C-level people that you could do this to, and he'd be like, all right, let's talk it out. I love Benoit for that.
FPS combat and gameplay. And the overwhelming topic in chat was about desync.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I volunteered. Remember those big long posts you used to do on Spectrum about a really important topic?
Yeah.
I volunteered you to make one of those.
Okay.
And then
on these things specifically.
Yeah, on desync specifically, and what's causing it, and what our efforts to fix it. And I realized
it's like when your dad calls you for some or texts you for some tech help, and then you're in the middle of answering him, and he calls. He's like, "Hey."
I want you to hear about it on Reddit first.
Okay, cool. So just a deep dive.
Just a deep dive on desync and why it's happening.
All things desync and networking.
Yeah, I think it's important.
How hard can
Sounds
it be?
good. We'll do it.
Sorry, can you hear that? Can you say that again?
We're good. I'll do it.
All right.
Hey.
Thank you, Benoit.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Have a good one.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Just put a gun to his head. Imagine if he was
He's
just
never
like, no,
taken a call
Jared.
from you again.
Yeah.
He's never answering a call.
No.
That's it, chat. I just used up the last stroke I got. Thanks for watching. See you on Inside Star Citizen next week. Take
So
care.
red.
Check out the weekly newsletter tomorrow. There's something cool in there too. Bye.
Oh, man. I mean, it's not like Benoit couldn't say no there. Not at all. That was not a forced situation. Either way, I'm glad he's going to say something about it because the desync does suck. And I can't wait for it to be fixed. Folks, I got to hop off and go do some gameplay. I've got more writing to do and recording to do to get the 4.7 release video to you guys next week, and also a little video about looting I'm working on. So, and a Mrs. Tomato said I have to eat. I hope you all enjoyed this. I don't really have much more to say. I talked the whole time. We went through a lot, so I will leave you with this. There's clearly a lot more to the FPS gameplay than they are showing, and I think that falls in line with the whole game. There's a lot to this game that we don't have and that doesn't get talked about even though it's being worked on. It doesn't show up in the monthly reports, doesn't show up on the progress tracker, doesn't even show up in all of the Star Citizen lives. I'm glad that we got to hit the FPS gameplay team on here today, but there are a lot of teams. A lot of teams. It's a freaking ton of teams on this in this company. And you can just scroll down through the progress tracker and see. Now, a lot of these are archived. They restructured the company, and that's why these are all archived. The teams are ordered differently. They're now more kind of within the gameplay pillar. But it just goes to show how much stuff is being worked on that we don't know, and it's annoying to not know. I do agree, but it's important to remember that there's a lot of moving parts, and even if it feels like you're getting an FPS edition, it doesn't mean that the whole game's going to be FPS. I even made some quips during this episode. It'd be nice to get places that just didn't have combat involved. I do know that's going to happen at some point, but I get wanting it now. Either way, hope y'all enjoyed this. Thanks for coming to this deep dive. Alrighty, let us cover up them toes with something juicy. Get the toes socks. Hey, that'll be our finishing message, guys. Thank you so much, everybody who stuck around for this show. This was a weirdly timed stream. I don't normally stream at this time, but if you happened to be here, consider doing a little follow. Join us on another one. We do gameplay sometimes. We do coverage of events. We do podcasts. And we do a lot of this too, where we just look at the development of Star Citizen and other games. Like we just covered this game, Replaced, last week. And Falling Frontier earlier this week. Anyways, guys, thanks for being here. Check out those socks if you're looking for some. It's a good deal. You get 2 pairs with every order. We designed them ourselves, and we're very, very happy with them. Okay, bye, y'all. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy yourselves. Eat something you love. Do something you love. Go give somebody a hug. You know, do a hobby. Have some things. I'll see you all tomorrow. Podcast, stream, gameplay, all the jazz. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.